Okay. So, guys, I think Tommy, can you say something?
Hi.
Okay, so just so I see your audio level. Okay, looks good. Um, yeah, there's no chat for some reason. Live chat. There you go. Okay. Ah, there you go. So, Pierre is there. He says he can hear us both well. Okay. So, Tommy, let's go again. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Okay, nice.
I'm
Um,
good.
well, that's a special situation we have now why we are actually going live. It wasn't really planned,
No.
but let's begin with um, how's your school going right now?
Well, the school's going no too bad considering, I would say easily the kind of biggest improvement is some of the kids I've been teaching. Um, and what we do on a Friday is we partner them up with the guys, that come during the week. So they're basically taught one to one. Um, and it's amazing to see the difference in some of these kids because, you know, um, they're only about 13, 14, 15, 16 year old, but um, every week you can see them getting better. And the thing is, they're quite enthusiastic. And I've always maintained that if we're going to keep Bruce's art alive, we have to think about teaching the next generation. And I've had this in my mind for quite a while. And, I thought, like, I need to make a start of this. So that's what we've been doing. We're kind of prepping the next generation and making sure that they're taught as well as we can teach them. So and the guys are really loving it. I see them enjoying it. And then after the class, I'm always saying, "So how did that go?" I really enjoyed it. Or it was difficult when you've got to try and put words together for kids where you'd be teaching an adult slightly different, but everybody's getting the benefit. The guys are getting good at relaying the information. They're getting good at communicating with the kids. Kids are really enjoying it, and they're getting better. So what more could you want? It's
What age do you teach kids?
well, I think the youngest I've got is about 13, and the oldest is 18. But the kids are all recommended with it's either Jonathan, who Stuart, as you know, uh, having Claire. I mean, their two kids came along on Friday, and I think Nathan's 15, and I can't remember his daughter. I think she's 18. And
Hmm.
Jonathan was actually in coaching as well, which is fantastic. Uh, and then Jai, who is my next door neighbour's nephew. And then there's Lyndon, who's actually Des Mulvey's nephew as well. And who else? And then we've got Katsu and Itzy, who their father is a friend, a student of mine. So it's no, there's not a lot of people, there's kids that I teach who are just, they've heard of me. It's through no students, relatives, blah blah blah.
Okay, okay.
Um, so when I look at some of these kids, I can actually see the family resemblance, uncles and fathers that train with. So, it's great. I love it. You know, and then I've got Liam who comes on a Sunday morning, and I've had him for about a year and a half, and I think he's 11. Um, and I can't believe the progress he's made, and he's actually got bigger as well. So when you see the kids developing, and you step back and you're watching them, it's amazing. I'll need to just plug my battery in.
Ah, okay, okay. Don't go off. Don't go off.
Oh, I don't want to cut off. Right, that's us. So, yep, I really can't complain that way. No, um, that's gone good. Training's gone good. Feeling really, really strong. I'm really enjoying it. So, everything's going well.
I have I mean I don't teach kids like like um, special kids group because I teach just once a week. But I have also the youngest is 13. Is the son of a student.
Yep.
So he just started. Yeah, I mean the problem is when you mix the groups, he's like 2 heads smaller than everybody else.
Well, that's the thing that I stipulate with the kids I teach. They've got to be roughly about the height of us.
Yeah,
And these kids are all pretty big.
yeah,
And even Itzy, he took a stretch in the last month, and that's how I actually invited him to come to the class because his brother Katsu, he's quite big as well, considering he's only, I think he's just turned 14. So that's the only thing I stipulate. They've got to be about the height of the adults because it's pointless when you're up here and they're away down here,
yeah.
But years ago, I would never teach kids because I really didn't have the patience, and I would go crazy because when I tried to teach my own kids, it was just a nightmare until somebody says, "Look, could you teach, my son?" I says, "Well, bring him along," and that was the first one. Was Liam? His father brought him along. I looked at him. I went, "Okay, I'll try it," and I really did enjoy it, but it wasn't easy. It was incredibly difficult. Because I wasn't used to teaching kids apart from my own kids, which is it's slightly different for somebody else's,
Yeah,
But his father sits in the lesson, and he was in the day, and I always show him something. I'll talk to him about the details, and I'll sit back and say, "Okay, Liam, right, you're the instructor. You tell me," and he'll say, "Okay, you do this because of that. You do this because of that. Your body turns this way because this." So Liam's really, really good at retaining information. Really good. So I always come away feeling content and happy.
Nice. And you're still going to the gym, as you said.
Yep. Right.
What would you recommend? I mean, younger people in their 20s or something when they train Jeet Kune Do and how to supplement their training with weightlifting and running and everything. Obviously it's different when you're older, but like maybe 20 years old, 30 years old.
The three things that I thought was the best, and it's funnily enough, that's the same three things that Jesse always used to advocate, and it was really basically press ups, pull ups, and running. And whenever I done them, I actually get great results. Punching was fast and powerful. Same with kicks. That was that. But I don't really do any running because sometimes my cartridges are a bit sore. So I'm going to make an effort this week to get back on the bike again.
Yeah.
It's just that after I've done a workout and I'm getting back out to teach, sometimes 45 minutes is a long time to spend extra in the gym, to do it. So I need to make a couple of days where I can get in and just do that,
Yeah, I mean myself, I see when I go run, it's kind of worse for the knees somehow, when I have knee problems, I usually was running the day before or something. Yeah, well. Okay, let's address the obvious elephant in the room. How many times were you challenged in your career from other people? Okay.
That amount.
Zero. So I mean, it's.
I mean, I don't really know where all this started, to tell you.
I can tell you.
It's just internet people. It's internet people that have got nothing better to do.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, right? Ken Shamrock and this other guy, right? If they challenge me, the first thing I'd like to address is that it'd be amazing that they even knew who I was.
Yeah.
Never mind want to fight me. And for me, that somebody would put me in that level, them would be like, wow, my God, it's farcical. And the same as Rick Young. Now, Rick Young, I've met a few times. I don't really know him personally.
Okay.
So I don't know the guy.
Did you ever talk to him?
That was always a thing, that he came to my school, challenged me. Over the course of the years, there's some people that are training me with me just now, that's trained with me for a long time, including one of my students called Vic. And there's a few other people. There's none of these people ever saw anybody that walked into any of the places that I taught that challenged me. And as Peter Rill on the Facebook page mentioned, that somebody had asked Rick Young the same question years ago, and he said, it's absolute lies. He never came to my school and challenged me.
That's
So it's
that's
just people that want to cause trouble and stir things up when they've got nothing better to do with their life, and try and deflate somebody because they've got some inadequacies in their life and they've got nothing better to do.
that's what I
It's
said. There's no, you know, it's always somebody else saying he challenged you, or but you never heard this, hear this from himself. You know, Paul Bax is here as well. Hi, Paul. um, so the funny thing, when this first started, I think that was like mid to late 2000s, when your first videos popped up, and then I read that bullshit in German forums. So this went even to Germany. So I asked you that even back then, you know, like 2009 or something. Okay, some people are say Rick Young challenged you, and Ken Shamrock. Like Ken Shamrock knows who Tommy CARRUTHERS is. You would probably ask him, but nowadays there's no Ken Shamrock anymore. Claim, because that's
See, I think if you put yourself out there that you're such a great fighter, you will have people that want to challenge you to prove you're no a great fighter. And all the times I've done martial arts, I've never put myself out there as a great fighter, you know, but I would say I'm a good teacher. I would say that, you know, that's one thing I would say. If I don't mind blowing my own trumpet, I would say I'm a good teacher because I put a lot of passion and effort into the people I teach, you
okay.
know, and if you tell people I'm a brilliant fighter, I can beat anybody, you will get people turning up at your door to prove you wrong. So it's never been my intention, because you know good fighters are 10 a penny. There's a lot of good fighters out there, and if you put yourself out as that, you'd be fighting people all the time to try and prove a point. And I'm not interested in proving a point. All the fighting that I done when I was younger is in the past. When I worked as a bouncer, that's in the past. I've not got any interest in fighting people unless I've got to defend my family or myself. Then that's a different kettle of fish. But my main priority is to teach people and to prepare the next generation that will go forward with Bruce's martial art. That's my goal. But I always tell these people that make up all these lies and rumours that they don't realise that they're actually giving me more publicity, because every time they mention my name, people want to know what's happening. And the majority is just, it's just absolute lies. But you've got to kind of sit back and wonder why people would make up these lies about you. Well, I always think that these people themselves are very jealous. They've never achieved anything in their life, and they see you, and all of a sudden they'd love to have what you've got and what you've done, but they've not got the mindset, they've not got the motivation, they've not got the drive, they've not got the intellect, and they've not got the skill, so they never achieve it.
Yeah.
So all they think about is trying to bring you down to size to satisfy their own self. And the majority of people can see through these people. They're 10 a penny, you know?
Yeah, well, uh, so the guys, they are constantly bringing this up from one side or another, and you mean, I mean, you just can't say it never happened, but it just always pops up like from somebody, which is very funny. I mean, you can debunk this 1,000 times in the last 15 years, and then, you know, like you debunk it today, and in 10 years somebody brings it back again,
I know.
because he reads somewhere in a forum like 20 years ago, and it starts again.
Well, I'm sure there's many things that happened when Bruce was alive that people exaggerated
Yeah.
or very similar that never happened, you know. And people believe these things because naturally they believe everything they read, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And there you go. But the majority of people that cause trouble are really just people that's jealous. Because if you're secure in what you teach and you're secure in yourself and you're a confident person, um, you don't go to any of these lengths. It's all insecure people and people that's jealous that go to lengths with all this internet fighting. That's it. You can see through them. It's not really difficult.
yeah, yeah,
It's not difficult to see through them. There it is.
absolutely. But the funny thing is, the guy who all the time brings this up, he's got the kind, how you say, fable for challenging people, because he was sending emails to me like he wants to spar, he wants to challenge, and then he did the same with a guy, with a Ted Wong guy in Poland, and I didn't react, like, who are you? But the guy in Poland, he accepted, and as he accepted, he falsified his flight tickets. He made like fake flight tickets to prove that he went to Europe, and posted them online. And the guy from Poland could really expose him that these are actually fake flight tickets. And he was also posting like pictures that he is in Germany, and he took pictures of a street in Germany, which you can actually find in Google, the same picture, and stuff like this. Totally crazy. And then, obviously people who watch my channel, they know that all. And then some still, like, side with this guy, which how can you side with this guy who is obviously faking everything? And then you go to him and tell like this story, I mean, where is the moral? Where is the moral border of
Well,
this?
the people that side with these people are the same, are very similar to these guys. There's no anybody that's any kind of common sense and logic would see through a lot of this stuff and would never side with these people. So it's their own type of people that side with them. That's all it is. But it was the same years ago when I had trouble with that guy Todd. He says, I'll come to the foundation event and I'll challenge you to fight. I said, okay, come. And he said he was there. That was a thing.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it looks like, and he wasn't there. I was there and you weren't there. Well, my God, I was in front of, say, 150 people talking and doing a demonstration. I was there. You weren't. Stop lying. But some of these people they can't accept it, and they're just compulsive liars, and they've got to lie and lie again. And some of them lie that much they can't even remember the lies they told. Remember that saying, "Oh, if you're a liar, you've got to have a good memory."
Yeah.
And that's a fact. You've got to have a good memory. But you just get sick of it. It's a case of, no, again. Here we go again. It's like,
And when you look, what the reasons? What are the reasons? The reasons, the only reasons people are doing this, because certain aspects of Jeet Kune Do, okay? That's, like, obviously the Bruce evolved in his Jeet Kune Do, in his style, and
yep,
you point this out, we point this out, okay? He
uh-huh,
went away from Wing Chun, and he did that, and this and
uh-huh,
that, and there's
yep.
plenty of evidence
It's
in.
not there.
That's the funniest thing. There's plenty of evidence, and
Uh-huh.
then you point that out, and people who don't want to hear that, they're just pissed, and that's the core reason why this all happens.
I done a seminar in Spain one time. Everything I said, I wasn't quoting Bruce word for word because I couldn't remember him word for word.
Mm.
But everything I was teaching, I was explaining it exactly the way Bruce had mentioned it. The same evening, all the participants were invited to a screening of A Warrior's Journey,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the cinema. And I was sitting with the host, and it was so uncanny when Bruce was commentating or narrating through A Warrior's Journey that everything they had said was what I had said during the day. And
Yeah.
these people didn't believe a word I was saying. And funnily enough, at night, there's Bruce. You couldn't see him. You could just hear his voice or A Warrior's Journey. And it was nearly word for word what I'd said. So when the lights come on, everybody stood up, and I was at the back with the host, and they had to pass by me to go to the exit. And I stared at every one of them. And when they come up the stair, they all put their head down like that and couldn't look at me, because what I had said during the day that they dismissed, the founder had said the exact same thing on that documentary.
Yeah. Yeah. The funny thing is, I don't know if you probably know this book, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in this book, the Mito Uehara, the Bruce student,
Uh-huh.
he said that Bruce said to him that Bruce said that he couldn't really call Jeet Kune Do a Chinese art because there's so little kung fu in it, you know. So okay, guys, Zoom just died because for some reason. Unbelievable. So I guess I have to invite Tommy again. Just a second, guys. Just a second, guys. Okay. Today we have like technical problems. I'll be back in a second. No sound, but Tommy can hear me as well. Can you say something? It doesn't hear me. Why the hell doesn't it work? So now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Oh,
now.
nice. Okay, let's go. Fuck's
Right,
sake.
okay. I know.
Okay, I use literally Zoom only when I talk to you. Like once twice a year. So where was we? Or where were we? Um
And we were talking about, you know, these kind of false kind of accusations about people challenge me and all this kind of
oh yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah,
which,
yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, you were talking about the guy in Spain. You were the last time in Spain, Bruce.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Uh-huh.
So
So sometimes even if you've got Bruce's writings right there in front of you and you show people
yeah,
and you present the evidence, they still don't believe you. They want to believe what they think. And you go, there, it's there. It's like going from point A to point B, and they go, no, it's not. It's like right there, it's there in front of you. You know, I think they people have some kind of problem. You know, I don't know.
it could be, you know, you train like 30 years at one thing and you believe uh that's the thing, and then, you know, like a guy comes and says, well, that's not the thing, and then you're mad.
Of course,
It's a simple.
but if you want to get any better, and I mean, if somebody showed me a better way of doing something, a more, pardon me, a more direct way how to accomplish this shot or that shot, and he shows me a better way, I mean,
I think.
I'll listen to him. You know, I'm not going to go, no. If he goes, well, this is a bit, okay. You know, when I'm teaching the class, I'll be, if we're doing something, I'll say, just feel out and try and cut things down. And if the guys cut a bit off it and they go, how did that? Well, I done this. That's brilliant. On you go. So it's an ongoing thing. I just refinement. But, you know, some people just can't accept it.
Yeah.
They can't accept it. Why they go off way for here and they go like that and you do this when you could just go like that. Alan Joe said to me one time, Tommy, point to your nose. He says, it's right in front of you like that, isn't it? He says, that's what Bruce said. That's JKD. It's right in front of your nose. There it's there. And that's it. You know, I drew 4 drawings, you know, of the pinnacle of hand-to-hand combat, not just JKD, the pinnacle of hand-to-hand fighting. And even when people look at that, but what if? It's not about what if, when and how. And again, that's what Bruce said. It's not about what if, it's about when and how. And the pinnacle is these 4 drawings. One, the guy uses leg, one, the guy uses hand, and both of them, you know, how can I say it? That the reason why he uses leg and the next one uses hand is because of the progressive weapons chart.
Yeah.
That puts everything into perspective, what you should be using first, second, third, and last. Basically, that's it. Even that, some people can't accept it. You go, well, I think if my memory serves me right, it's Natal JKD. You can look it up, you can see it. That's how you figure it out. The guy's further away, use your leg, closer, use your hand. Any closer, bent elbow shots. No less you want to move your stance completely away that you can still use the length of your leg. But 4 drawings are four figures, really, how can you say it, sums it up, hand-to-hand combat. That's it. That's the pinnacle of it. That's it. And
Yeah.
some people go, but what if you done this? I'm like, man, you still don't get it.
And the funny thing is, I mean, a progressive weapon shot is a really nice thing, but rarely anybody talks about that.
I know. That's it.
And
That's it.
and also, I think Bruce probably had the same problem. Like, you know, imagine you're in a Seattle school and then you train all the time, like Wing Chun and modified Wing Chun, whatever. And then Bruce comes up and tells you suddenly, well, that doesn't work anymore,
Uh-huh.
or we're moving completely away from that. You know, you're gonna
Yep.
lose bunch of students, and but he didn't care. You know, so he didn't care. He when he figured out or he felt, however you want to say that, he changed it. He didn't
That's
think
it.
about, oh well, I'm gonna use students, so
Mhm. People just they keep a grab of things because they like it.
or
That's that. They love doing all these kind of trap exercises and that stuff, and they love it. And I could see how they love it. But if you're following Bruce's philosophy and his principles, then you should be looking for quicker, you know, simpler, more direct ways. It should be a constantly hacking away, discarding stuff all the time. You don't keep it because you actually love it. You keep it because it's important. But it might be important at that point you're training, and then later on it's not important because you've modified it. You
yeah,
might have modified it and refined it to the point it's not even there anymore. So it's an ongoing thing. But people just grab stuff and they keep a hold of it, and that becomes their religion, that you can't say anything about it because
yeah,
that's the holy, a holy. This is fantastic. This is where it's at, but it's no. That's where it's at there. But look beyond that, and that's what Bruce done. He looked beyond. Okay, this is what I'm doing, but is there better ways of doing things? Is there quicker ways of ending this? I always say to people, why prolong an encounter any longer than you need? End it fast. Train to end it fast. Train to close in and hit and destroy the person. So as you know, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Take them on the deck and deal with that. Why? It's just prolonging it. It's accumulation of stuff that you could have threw away and looked and went right to the heart of the problem. And that's another thing that Bruce says, go right to the heart of the problem. Talk about JKD, but are they really loving it? Are they breathing it? Are they feeling it? Are they immersed in it? I doubt it. I doubt it. It's a hobby. They go and pick it up once a week, twice a week, and they go and practice it. That's it. It's a hobby.
yeah,
For me, it's no hobby, it's a lifestyle. I was at the gym today, right, Sunday, taught
yeah.
this morning, this afternoon, just relaxing. Tomorrow, I'll be at the gym. Possibly I'll be there twice. I'll be teaching that. I'll be teaching yesterday, tomorrow, from 3 to about 8:30. For me, it's a lifestyle. For me, it's not a hobby. You know, it's a thing that it never leaves me. It's a thing that's always here.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a passion. It's a thing where you're looking and you're teaching. How can you make these people better? How can you make this better? How can you refine it? What's it you've got today to make them be able to move quicker, punch faster, relax? You know, how can you do this? How can we shave bits off it? I get away driving home. I'll think, we could have maybe, what if we try it that way? What if we do this? Okay, tomorrow I'm teaching this guy. What's the next stage he's at? I need to get him to relax. I need to get him to move better. You know, so for me, it's no hobby. It's a life. And a lot of people don't get that. And when you're passionate about something, people don't understand it. When the hobbyist comes in and he's holding on to his encapsulated stuff, and you more or less destroy it with saying there's better ways how to do it, he gets offended, he gets annoyed. But he isn't a person who is consumed nearly every minute of the day with us. When I was younger, I was fanatical
Mm.
beyond belief. I trained so much that I trained to I virtually dropped a few times, that my mother was really concerned. I was so fanatical. And I would say the day I'm still pretty fanatical, but it's not a hobby. And I'm always searching for the truth. And people always talk about, well, Bruce is always on about the truth, the truth. But the funny thing is, sometimes when you repeat the same words as Bruce repeated, people don't like it.
Yeah.
They can hear that from Bruce, and they can be so enamored, and they can think he's fantastic, he's a philosopher, he's an intellectual, he's everything. But see, when you repeat his words, they can't take it.
Yeah, the other thing is when they use his words, they usually use the quotes that are kind of vague, you know. But there are so many notes of him. They're really they're just clear. You can't. There's no way to interpret this or that way. It's just what it says. Like the one where he said that being wise in Jeet Kune Do, contrary to other arts, is not adding more but reducing, right?
Of course.
So how can you? And that's literally you cannot turn this one or other way.
Of course. Well, there was the poem that he wrote to Jerry Petit.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't remember it.
with the
But
roses.
Ted Wong came in and showed me it one time. He came and done a seminar, and he showed me this, and it was about a bed of roses and something else, right?
Yeah.
Because Jerry Petit was mixing Kempo with what he'd been taught, and Bruce was pissed off, and he wrote this poem about a garden of roses and blah blah blah, and he gave me it. So there we go. There's evidence that he wasn't too happy about people throwing things together, mixing things together. No, as somebody said to me one time, well, JKD's no complete. Well, right away when they say that, you go, you don't understand it. It's all there. Go away and look at the principles. The principles are there. They'll be there for 100 years, 1,000 years time. They'll still make sense. They're there. Go and look at them. It is complete.
Jeet Kune Do is not complete.
You don't understand it.
How is Jeet Kune Do not complete? Is there more to add? But it's not.
If they say that JKD is no complete, that gives them the freedom to add things.
Yeah.
That's their scapegoat. Well, it's not complete. Bruce died at 32. It's not complete. Well, you know, the principles they left, they're there. All you need to do is go and read the stuff, do your research. It's there. It's like before, during, and after. Yeah. There you go. Totally sums up counterfighting. Doesn't matter if the guy's got a weapon, his hand, his foot, or anything like that, before, during, and after. It's there. It's as simple as that, before, during, and after. What weapons would you use? Go to the progressive weapons chart. There you go. That's it. Well, where can I tell you? That's it. It's there. They're not disputing it. But some people can't take that. Because, again, they're hanging on to things that they love. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's it. They love doing these techniques. They could never handle the fact that they would have to discard them. I don't love the techniques I practice, or I teach. I don't love them.
It's a tool.
Aye, it's like me picking up this craft knife. It's just a tool. I don't love it. It's just a tool that I use to do something, and I put it back down, and that's it, finished. That's it. But some people just love the stuff, and they can't think to throw that away,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I used to also do all this, like Chisao stuff and this Kali Hubbard stuff. I had the tapes from Bob Breen and that, we train that as well. Me and my friend. But none of this stuff you could really apply in like fighting or sparring drills. You can't catch.
It was an interesting thing that happened one time. It was one of the seminars that Jesse done at my school a way back. And there was a guy that came for JKD Concepts, and he came to a few seminars. In fact, I think he came to Ted Wong one. And Jess was teaching Chisao, and he'd asked him a question, but what about if I do that Hubbard? And Jesse put his hand like that, and the guy put his hand here. He goes, I'm going to come through and you try and stop me. Right? So Jesse's like that, and the guy's here.
A reference, like reference point.
Aye. The minute he went to do that, to transfer it, Jess went through and touched him on the chest. And Jesse done his usual thing. You know the way he puts his head, he goes, that's how it doesn't work. And he walked away with one hand in his pocket. And the usual way he kind of walked.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny. And later on I said, so did you not give him an explanation or something like that? And he said, well, there's no pressure. When you go at that and you do that, you lose the pressure. And the thing that's keeping me back is pressure. And when there's no pressure, I'm going like that. And it could just be a finger, and I could just stick it right in your eye. Pressure keeps me back, and there's no pressure. Unlike if you were doing that, it's screwing in, and there's forward pressure. And that was it. You know, so I don't think the guy was pleased, because I think he thought that he had something that, you know, that he would be able to. I don't know the right word. I don't know the right word. Maybe something that, you know, Jesse would have a hard time explaining, or blah blah blah. But Jesse, just like everyone else, just cut right through it. It's like a time where I've told you before, where I was showing him all these combinations that, you know, one guy had showed me, one of Bruce's students, and he just kept doing this all the time. Now I go, what about that? And what about, and he go like that. And I says, what is it? And he says, forget it, man. He goes, just go right for his eyes and take his eyes. He says, forget it. He says, you don't need all it. Just there it's there. And that's just the same as what Alan Joe says, Tommy, JKD is right in front of your nose. There it's there. And it's like, it's so simple, but sometimes the simplest thing is the hardest thing to grasp. It's so difficult to grab simplicity. So difficult. And if you're really in love with different techniques and moves, you find it hard to grasp it. But if you're in love with trying to find better ways, you'll embrace it. You'll go, wow, okay. And then when Jesse just stood and done that, I went, my God, man, there it's there.
People...
And I remember it so well. He was sitting in the sofa, and a friend of his that had come over, a guy called Lonnie, if my memory serves me right, he was a student of Joe Cowles for Seattle, right? Yvonne was there, she was in making something to eat, and, you know, I'd sat and I'd jump up and I'd show him that, and he just sat, and I'd jump up again and say, what do you think about that? And he just sat on the couch with his hat on, and he just kind of went like that. You know, it's so clear the day, and why waste time? So
well, people, they love flashy moves. It's
of course they do.
I guess it's kind why in boxing this flashing pads is now popular, and also like this young boxer, this Garcia, who recently boxed, you know, this young guy. What's his name?
I made a comment on one of his clips one time, and all his followers all attacked me, and I goes like, he's punched with his arms, no using his hips. They all went crazy, but it was so obvious that that's what he was doing. He was fast and he was doing that, but there was no hip, there was no body weight, there was no shift. But when you point out the obvious, they hate it.
Yeah.
So many boxing coaches I've saw on Facebook, and they're like, do this, and their hands up here, and you're like, that's wide open. You're no using your footwork. You're no transferring your body weight. You know,
he's kind of arm punching like Wing Chun, and then when you see him fight, you see there's enough. He can't punch like this in his fights, you know. Suddenly he has to move, suddenly he has to punch from distance and everything, and then it doesn't work anymore.
I know, that's it. But people hate you pointing that out. It's like, you know, it always seems to be that the people who are good at something and devote all their life are the people that's criticised and attacked the most. That's it. See, if you're an underachiever, you have a great life, nobody gives you any problems, and you just sail along. But see, if you've got a passion for something, you're really, really good at it, and you really train your ass off, people get jealous. They really do. And jealousy is a terrible thing. It really is. People go to any lengths because they're so jealous.
Yeah. And
that's it.
Yeah, that's dangerous. For some people, it goes really to the level that it seems really dangerous. You know, they just lose total control. Yeah, absolutely. And it's sad that we have actually to talk about that.
I know. It's the same as the instructor certification thing.
Yeah.
That's another thing. People, you know, they spend too much time worrying about a bit of paper with somebody's name on it. And way back in the day, when many Bruce's students were alive, people would just done anything just to get a bit of paper with one of these guys' name on it saying they're an instructor. And a lot of people just paid for certificates, but at the end of the day, when they went to teach, there's nothing to teach, a bit of paper,
Yeah.
but they're nothing. And I always say to people, I'm not in a hurry to give you a certificate. So if you want a certificate fast, don't come and train with me. But if you're there for the right reason and you train hard, and I think that you've got good character and good morals and you know your stuff, I'll give you a bit of paper. It'll not cost you any money. I'll just give you it, you know. But if you come with a rank and agenda and you come with a, you know, the wrong attitude, that you're just chasing a bit of paper, you'll not get it. It's as simple as that. And I've had people like that in the past.
Yeah.
That's all they were real interested in, was that bit of paper. And once they get that, their whole idea was to gaff and make money, or use that as a vehicle to get some kind of fame, and they could show people, look what I've got, you know, look at that, you know. But they people never amount to anything, to tell you the truth, because they do that all through their life. You know, I always say to people, if they say to me, I want to be instructor, okay, right, you need to stick in, you need to learn it. How long will it take? Well, that famous saying, how long is a piece of string? As long as it takes, that's the answer. You're not in a hurry. And you're not in a hurry to learn it, because you can't learn this stuff in a hurry. It's not a mass production where you learn it in a hurry, then you get a bit of paper and then that's you. It's not like that. It's like, you've got to serve your time, you've got to prove you know it, prove you can do it, prove that. But again, there's always people that slip through the net that you think that they have got the right ethics, they have got the right character, but they're masking it really well. And then you find them out. So as much as you try your best, there's always a couple that sneak through the net that portray themselves to be something that they're not real, that they're not really. And that's the most sad thing about it, is down that line when you find them out, it really does anger you, you know, especially when you've been really good to people and you've had them in your home and they've been running about their family. They've sat at your dinner table, they've ate your food, they've drank your tea and whatever you've gave them, you know, and then they stab you in the back. Now that's like Judas. It really is, and that is a harder thing than anything, is for you to make people that welcome and be so helpful, friendly, and you name it, and they do that to you. And that's the thing, it does hurt me, because I get really friendly with a lot of people I teach because I want to build a relationship with them. And I think I'm probably quite a good-hearted type person. But there's always people that watch that, remember that, and they're there to use you. That's the thing. And so many people say to me, Tommy, just fuck everybody. I said, no, that's not me. Don't trust anybody, but that's not me. So I've got to kind of trust people. Oh, I'm a bit more wary, but I've got to trust people. And I couldn't fuck everybody, because that's not me. Because I'm a firm believer it'll come back and bite you in the backside. You know, I believe in the man up the stair, and I want to do the right thing, and I don't fuck people. You know, I'm truthful, I'm honest, I do the best job I can. And if they do something that's not in line with my ethics, or they do something that's no morally right in my book, and they're sly, they're underhanded, and I've been really good to them, that's painful. It really is. And it kind of makes you a bit cynical, and it kind of gets you to the point that you don't invite people to your home, you don't socialize with them outside, you just go and do the job, hello, cheerio, and that's it. And sometimes you don't want to do that, because sometimes the people you teach, you build a good relationship with them, and they don't just become students, they become close friends. So
there was though two stories I can remember. So let's address the Rick Young story. There was a turn. So the guy, your former student, Paul, he sent you an email. So and so he said basically to you he wants to take that video down again, right?
yep, that's
Okay.
what he said.
So you guys know
But I wonder what his motive was for actually saying that.
So he actually admitted in your email the Rick Young story wasn't real, and he wants to
Yeah.
remove that video by tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And
That's what he said.
okay. And so guys, you know,
And he
right?
said, I can't remember exact words, but he said along the lines that he done the video in some kind of haste. So I don't know why that was.
I also don't know. I mean, he's obviously because he knows the guy who made the interview. He knows the guy because Paul is obviously watching this channel. Otherwise, he wouldn't know him. And because that guy is criticizing all us all the time, is making videos about us, so he went to him to do this interview to piss you off for whatever reason, and now he's backing off. Okay, so that's the stage of the story. And well, why did he do that? Who knows? Maybe
Who knows?
maybe he should fall. I mean, Paul is probably watching. Maybe he should just call you up or something and clear
I
that.
said to him, listen, if you'd have wanted a certificate, you wanted to be instructors, you've done it the right way. You should have came and said to me, Tommy, I really love this. I'd love to be a teacher.
I was really shocked back then.
But I did take the guy under my wing and I did help him. And I did show him a lot of things. And I did introduce him to Jesse and Ted and other people and all that. And when somebody does things like that, when you've done no things to you, that's hurtful. But if I always say to people, if you do it the right way, you'll get it. You do it the wrong way, you'll not get it. And if he'd have done it the right way, he could be sitting today with a full instructor certificate. Maybe run his own group, maybe still training with me and gone and teaching his own group. He could have still done that. But always, I'm a firm believer when you do things the wrong way, you'll be exposed. You will be exposed and you'll be caught. And that's what happens. But the funny thing here is, whenever people get caught, they never blame themselves. They always blame you. So it doesn't matter what happens in your school with people doing this or people doing that. You always get the blame.
I was
So,
really shocked. I was really shocked.
it was another statement along the lines where, you know, there was a bad atmosphere in the class, and I can't remember. I'm only going what somebody told me because I wouldn't look at any of these clips because it would just infuriate me, right? For it to be such a bad atmosphere in the class, why did people keep coming back sometimes 3 times a week to train? Why did nearly 30 people come back nearly 3 times a week to train for
Also,
years?
every time I
If it
was
was
in your
such a
school,
bad atmosphere, people wouldn't last 3 weeks. If I was such a bad instructor, people wouldn't last 2 days, they'd be gone. When you look along the line, you couldn't find a bad one.
yeah.
Everybody in that line in that school was as good as I could make them. And there was some really good people there, really good people. So we've got to remember, it's not a kindergarten we're running here. It's a martial arts class. It's not a kindergarten. They're all men. They're no kids. Simple as that. So,
I mean, you're like old school teacher, so maybe some people don't like that. But like you said, I was many times in your school, and I never noticed anything. You know, back in the years, so
no.
it was okay. And I liked going there. Of course, I didn't train as much as this guy in your school because I'm not from Glasgow. It's a no-brainer to point it out, right?
Right.
So I was really shocked. I was really shocked when he left, like what was it, 12, 13 years ago?
Easily.
Yeah, because I really felt he was I thought he was a good guy, and
I mean, I was so disappointed, to tell
yeah,
you the truth. And I was saddened when he just disappeared. There's no two
yeah.
ways about it, because I really did like him, and I got on well with him. And it saddened me. It really did. There's no two ways about it. People leave the school for a couple of reasons. One,
Yeah.
first one could be they cause trouble, and they get a chance. And some people have had quite a few chances, and I've let them back, and they've done it again. I've goes, no, you're hurting people, and people don't want to come because you're hurting. You'll need to leave, right? or they leave their cell because they've done something and they don't want to chucked out, they're underhanded. And then there's a third category where people leave because their lifestyle's changed. They get married, they get a house, they have a job away, they have kids, difficult to fit everything in, right? That's it. That's the three kind of categories, you know. But it really disappoints me when when people do that, you know. And I've been kind to a lot of people, and a lot of people stab me in the back. There's no two ways about it. I think maybe what happens is that they confuse, you know, kindness with softness. I think that's what it is. When you've got a good heart, sometimes people take a loan of you so many different ways, and they think you're soft. I'm by no means soft, but I'm unkind, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for any of the people that I teach.
Mhm.
If they called me up today and they needed my help, I'd be ready to help them. And I've done that in the past, and I'm not going to mention names, but I've done that in the past in the basement with many people that called me out with training times because they had problems. And my ex-partner could testify to that, that I helped him out more than once. And I could have just easily said, look, man, you only pay me to teach you. I'm not a social worker. But because I had a good relationship with all my students, I helped them the best way I could. And they still stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
How sad is that? It's terrible.
Just so people understand, I remember on a different story because you say some people are just, after certificates. You remember the guy from Germany who went into your school and he was like 2 weeks and he also stayed at your home? Can you remember? I don't want to
All
mention
right, Marco Calca.
I didn't want to mention name. Yeah, but yeah, that's
Yep,
you want to say that story?
Marco Calca.
That was a similar story.
Same thing. Exact same thing. Then he went away and paid for a certificate for Jerry Petit.
Um, yeah. So I mean, for some reason, people probably think you can make lots of money when you have a paper. I don't know. I don't know about the U.S., but in Europe, it's not the case.
No, it's not the case. It really isn't. You know, a bit of paper really doesn't make you an instructor. It really doesn't make it. It's only a bit of paper saying that you've spent a certain amount of time with somebody or you've reached a kind of level, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it's when you start to teach people, then you start to learn. That's when you really start to learn.
Yeah.
You know, when you're practicing the techniques, you're just practicing them. But when you've actually got to teach somebody these techniques and figure out how you can teach this person, you know, X, Y, and Z, and you've got to look at, you know, are they athletic? Are they no athletic? Do they pick things up pretty fast? Have they got good hand and foot coordination? You know, get good hand and eye coordination. You know, there's a bunch of things you take into consideration. You've always got to change your path when you're teaching them. You start off this way and you've got to modify it. You go that way and modify it again. Just because you're always coming up with hurdles with things that they're no good at and things that they are good at. And, you know, it's a long process to take a guy off the street and really train him and make him proficient to the point where he's unbelievable. You know, that takes a long time, you know, a long time. It's no easy. But that's how I don't like to take a lot of students. And I know, okay, I sure I'd love a lot of students, but I would probably get frustrated because I would feel as if I can't get the best out of a lot of people. Where if I've got a handful of people, I know I can get the best out of them, and my energy isn't wasted with another 15 guys in a class. I've only got to look at 4 or 5 or 6 people,
Yeah.
you know, or even better. I've only got to look at 4 where I can really look at them, grab a chair, put it down, sit beside them while they're training, watch your foot, do this, explain that, blah blah blah, and I can really work on them. But the guys I've got to know, I've had them for absolutely years, you know, and every month you can see them getting better, even though they've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the next stage is when they're teaching these kids, I can see them every week becoming better instructors. And that's the thing. So I'm not just training people to be students, I'm training them to be instructors. And that's how I invited the kids on a Friday, because I want to train my students to be instructors now. It's one thing doing it, there's another thing passing it on. Many people are really good. There's a friend of mine who was an amazing wrestler. He used to travel over Europe and the UK fighting Greco-Roman. And he was amazing, but he couldn't teach it. He was a terrible teacher. Absolutely terrible. But when you watched him on the mat, he was unbelievable. So I want the students to be good at doing it, but I want it to be good instructors. I want them to instruct with the same passion that I instruct with, and through time have the same knowledge that I've got. And they will accumulate that knowledge through time, through teaching people. And that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm no interested in internet people. I'm no interested in people saying that this guy said that, this other guy said that, this guy challenged me, this guy challenged me. It's just all absolute rubbish. Never happens. I'm no interested. My main goal was my small school in the East End of Glasgow. How can I get the best out of these people that come every week and pay me money to teach them? And how can I keep Bruce's martial art alive? And how can we prepare the next generation to take over? That's all it concerns me, nothing else. When people send me a message and say, this guy said that, this guy said this, I send a message back, I'm not interested. I couldn't care. If they're talking about me, they're leaving somebody else alone. If they're talking about me, fantastic, because they're giving me more publicity. Continue. Keep talking about me. What you're saying, I'm not interested. The majority of these people have never even met me. So
yeah, that's really true. That's really true. The most critics come from people who never met you,
I know.
and of
I
course,
had to lock my cat up here before I done this interview, Thomas, because if this cat was in, it would have went crazy. None of that bit of video, so I had to lock it up because prior to us going live, it was just bounced about mad, and I'm like, my God, I want to get a minute's peace. It might have been entertaining though, but the thing is, I'd have lost my flow and my continuity when I'm speaking because the cat would have so distracted me. Oh my God. It's like living with a tiger.
oh, it's a really nice cat you have there.
it's so intelligent, but these cats are bred for wild animals because they're bred for Asian leopard cats.
Yeah.
So they're so wild. They're no normal cats. They don't lie and sleep all the time. They always sleep. When it sits beside me, it maybe sleeps sometimes, but they're always awake and they're always very active. It's just like having a miniature wild cat in your house. That's what it is, but oh my God.
Tommy, we're gonna take a break for a few minutes
Okay.
because I have some problems with Zoom here. I have to change the account, and then I'm gonna get back to you. Okay?
Right, okay then.
Just
No
a few
problem.
minutes. Okay?
Right.
So guys. So guys, yeah, in a few minutes we're back. So we're waiting for Tommy. So he's comes back on the link. So just to recap, guys, what he said. So Paul sent him an email, and he basically apologized and said he wants to take the video down. Rhino's video, right? And well, let's see how this works out, because I think I don't think the guy is going want to take the video down. So let's see how this works. Okay. What's in the chat? A high-quality JKD documentary should be made. If only some rich person with pure intentions could help out with it. Yeah, that's... I mean, History Channel did kind of small documentary with Tommy in Tommy's school, you know, but it wasn't really a how can you say? You mean like history of Jeet Kune Do documentary? It was just about Thomas teaching Jeet Kune Do and stuff. That Paul could claim copyright to YouTube. Yes, he could, but this usually takes a few days until it gets done. If Rhino doesn't want to take the video down. Paul actually used clips from Tommy online lessons on YouTube. Is that even allowed? I'm not sure. I didn't watch the video, to tell you the truth. I didn't watch the video. Sensei Emmet, certificate hunters. Could someone explain? I've heard of belt hunters, but certificate hunters, just a useless piece of paper. It's basically the same. I mean, if you get a black belt, let's say a jiu-jitsu black belt, and you also get a piece of paper with that, you know, where it actually says that you have a black belt. So where's Tommy? He's online in Facebook, but I can't see him. Maybe he's in a bathroom. Pierre, you said, are these two certificate hunters still, are they still teach Jeet Kune Do now? But the one in Germany, I think yes, but the thing is, you know, how many people do you teach? Hi everyone, Tommy, how did you get so fast? So we're gonna ask him that when he gets back. And there, he is there. So you're back. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hi.
So let's do the double. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Does it not? It doesn't. Does it work? Yeah, that's now. And yeah, that's. So a guy asks, how did you get that that fast? Usual question.
God. Some people are just born pretty fast. Some people aren't. That's it. I think you can get faster if you're fast, but if you're slow, I don't think you're going to get that much faster, to tell you the truth. But I think, you know, in all honesty, even if you're fast, you can get faster. Even if you're no fast, you can get slightly faster with relaxing. Relaxation's a lot to do with it. People when you're tense, it just slows everything down. But the minute you relax, you know, it just, that thing just flies out like.
Yeah.
So the more you relax like that.
I remember you did a exercise Like this?
That's right. Aye. Aye, what you do is you go like this for here, right? And then what you try and do is you try and relax as much as you can.
And then Schwarzenegger says, "Get to the chopper." Nice. I can remember you showed that in the nice cat. Yeah. That's really
say,
a
say hello.
really nice looking cat.
You got to say hello, cat. Says, what's wrong, Paul? No, okay, I'll let you sit there. Aye. I know.
So guy asked, what's the state with your book, JKD book? Is there any progress?
The book's all done, to tell you the truth. All I've got to really do is to get somebody who would take 160 pages, scan it, take the writing out and type the writing in, and put it on a disc or whatever you put it on. And then that's it, finished. The printer guy was working on a front cover and a rear cover. I wrote an intro and Roland had edited it. So that's the only thing I've got to do.
So
it's lying there, but I just keep forgetting about it all the time. And there's quite a few publishers. A good friend of mine, Darryl, had contacted a few leading publishers in martial arts books, and they were very interested. Okay. And he's always saying to me, Tommy, get your finger out your backside and get it moving. Sorry, Darryl, I know I should be doing that, you know.
Do you?
And you also wanted me to mention, I talked about this a long time ago, but we were talking about this morning, the art of detachment. It says make a point of saying that. And that's what we should really do in martial arts, but that's what we should do with these kind of people that try and discredit, or these kind of people that, you know, they've got nothing better to do with their time. We should practice the art of detachment. We should totally detach ourselves from these kind of people and individuals. There you go.
Yeah. How many pages is going to be? Do you know that?
160.
160. And it's all drawings, no pictures. I mean, no photographs.
No.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. I'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Let's see the first glance in at Tommy's book. Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
So this was one of the front covers, but I really didn't like it.
Okay.
And we were going to change it to, I can't remember what it is. And that was another one we tried, which I didn't like it. That was the back cover. But this is the whole thing here. So every bit of that I drew, every page, every bit of it, you know, it was just so much work went into that. But this is what I need. So the writing I've got here, I need somebody to scan it, take this out and type it. So you see there is a lot of work involved in it.
Okay, a little bit more in the center. Oh yeah, that's okay.
You know, there is a lot of work, you know, so even you can see that as well.
Oh yeah.
So there's, you know, well, this I'd planned to do 4 volumes.
Okay.
But that's some kind of work. So there was the basic kind of stance, you know, different kinds of ways to place your hands.
Okay.
You know,
oh, that looks real nice.
Seated, kneeling, you know, how to use it moving off a wall, how to push from seated. How to align with the center, the alignment through the center, how to place your feet, options, how to move 360, how to place your feet 360.
Oh yeah.
How to face 360.
That's gonna be a Jeet Kune Do Bible.
All the angles here, and then you've got the push, how to push, how to move your feet. And it goes right up to snap back, everything, as well as, you know, different ways to train, how you can use a stick to move the side to side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, that. I think there's even stuff on the slant board. There's stuff with resistance bands on it. And there's training the punch for speed with cupping your hand, tapping him so that he'll shoot his hand out non-telegraphically. So how to use weights, stand squats, which Ted Wong taught me.
Nice.
What's that one? Additional
Bench
supplements.
press, yeah.
Push, the pull, the push and the pull. So there's tons of stuff, but I really should get it finished because it's been lying for ages and I've not done anything about it, you know.
So you wanted to do 4 volumes, you said? That
4 of these.
This one is the like the first one.
This one is really just it's really just a lead punch on it.
Ah, okay.
An application, you know, and I wanted to do one. It's got the lead in the back fist, if my memory serves me right, because that long ago I drew this.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, you know, like that. So I wanted to do one in kicking, and one on the left hand, and one in close quarter punches. So that I covered everything. You know, that was a plan. So I really should move myself on that because it's sitting there and it's finished. Oh, I just need to find somebody that can do that for me because computer skills is one of the things
I mean, I have no idea how this works. If you find a publisher, do you bring then these papers to him, or do you have to put this all in the digital form first?
Right. So Darryl had contacted a few people who were really interested in. So what I've got to do is I've got to get all this done, and I've got to get one book made up, and then I've got to get it all in digital form. So I send them the book and send them the digital information. They look at the book, how it's going to look, and then they take it for there.
Okay.
So that's what I should be doing. But I should come on, Kat. I should really get started on that this year.
Black Belt magazine maybe says one, Axel.
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks really nice. How much time did you need for this 160 pages? Like,
oh, that took about 4 months or something like that. I was drawing every day to the point I just get sick of it. I was just like, oh my God, you know, I hated it. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah, this could easily become a bestseller. Why not? I mean,
well, these people, I can't really remember the printing companies. Darryl he'd contact them, but they were pretty kind of well known, and they were real interested in it. So, you know, but see what it's like. Well, you're teaching, you're going to the gym, you're coming back, you're trying to do some of the online shop stuff to catch up with that.
Yeah.
You're running your house, you're feeding yourself, feeding your cat, and you've got a million jobs to do. And you've only got so much energy. You can't work every minute of the day. And I do work quite a lot, I think, you know. There's only so much you can do in a day. And I always get guilty if I don't go to the gym. I know I shouldn't do that, but I get so guilty.
Yeah, but that's your body. I mean, you know, like I think this keeps you motivated for everything else.
Yep, certainly does.
Yeah, that's so, oh yeah, one guy asks thoughts on Danny Santo, if he's still stuck in the past on Wing Chun. I don't think he's stuck on Wing Chun. I think he just teaches everything. I mean, when you imagine you run a school with only one martial art, it's really hard to make any money. So you want to offer as many martial arts to cover as many interests as you can, to pull as many people in as you can. I think that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. Because today people are just full in on MMA, and that's it.
I know.
It's just Muay Thai, boxing, grappling. basically. Pierre says, as watch Matt Thornton Jeet Kune Do video on YouTube. Did you watch that actually?
What was that?
That's a former student of, I think, Inosanto. I don't know if he's directly a student of Inosanto or just a concepts guy, but he was an instructor. And he was like, there's an interview, you can watch it. It's pretty and large interview, but on one part he says like how in Jeet Kune Do they always say, you know, like it should be practical, it should be realistic, and then on the other hand, when he trained concepts, they do all these kinds of unrealistic drills.
All right.
Which what's basically nothing new, right?
No, nothing new.
So
nothing new. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of training and a lot of skill to go from point A to point B, hit somebody with an eye jab or punch them and knock them out. It takes a lot of skill, but it is doable. You can do it, you know. But you've got it's got to be people with a certain kind of mindset, and you've got the people that's got. They're not kind of interested in learning all the flashy stuff. They've maybe been in confrontations before, and they realise that things have got to be simplified and all the complicated stuff doesn't work. So they're quite prepared just to spend a lot of time working on a single punch or a single kick until they get it right, you know. But there's not a lot of people like that. I'm only very fortunate that the majority of people I've got, they think like that. They'd rather have one or two things that they just went boom and it worked than try to do a bunch of things that doesn't work, you know.
They often say, you guys, you do all the time the same. Well, you don't go to a boxing gym and tell to the guys you do all the time the same. He's going to crack your head, right?
I know that you get into a boxing gym, you go, well, you guys only practice 8 punches. Is there nothing else? Well, no, that's just 8 punches. and they throw them about 1,000,000 times over and over and over and over again, and then throw them again, 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 again. I know, it's like, I always wonder about that. How come that boxers don't need to learn new things, but people that practice martial arts or go to martial arts classes are just desperate to learn the next new thing? You know, maybe boxers have got a better perspective on fighting. I don't know.
There's actually the tactic of kind of trapping in boxing or removing the block, right? But I don't know who said that. Is that usually boxers don't like that because instead of doing that, you just could punch on the other line, which is basically makes more sense. But somehow they always say, you know, like that's really funny. It's the argument is you don't look for a trap. The trap, it just happens. Well, the problem with that is, I think, if you get blocked, or let's say the guy punches and you block him, so now you want to trap. How can you decide in this you know that's a millisecond if you're gonna go with that or if you're gonna, you know, like just like punch? So you have to have your kind of tactics slightly before.
You need to train, you know, again, that sort of detachment, because if you hit a limb and you're clearing it, you can clear it and kick or you can clear it and punch, but that's got to be done as quick as possible without sticking to them. It's when you stick, that's the problem. When you stick, it changes your whole structure. So it does. So if you went like that, you clear it and you hit the person, then fair enough, or you clear it and you kick them. But constantly sticking and slowing down and waiting for the person to put a barrier up so that you can eliminate it seems to be very unrealistic in the real world, because in the real world, everything's about how quick can I hit him and draw my hand back. That's really what it's down to. And usually any kind of immobilization or any kind of clearance would be because it's a failed attack. That's basically it. You fail and you run into something, but there's a lot of different ways you can deal with it. You run into something, you can just roll away and kick the person. you can clear it, and you can kick, and you can clear it and punch, and don't be detached. That's exactly it. But this trap. People don't always put their hand up and do that. People step back and try and punch you, try and grab you, try and kick you, you know? So if what you practice isn't simple enough that you can really apply extremely fast, it will never work. It will never work. Again, back to right in front of your nose. That's where you should be going all the time.
Yeah. That's, I mean, flashy stuff
Again,
is.
that's back to the thing that people love. They love doing all that, and there's no way you can talk them into it because they get so high and they just love doing all these moves. It's a feel good thing. They just really feel really good when they're doing it.
Yeah.
And if you says throw that away and just hit the guy or draw a reaction and hit into that space and put your finger into his eye, his throat, or knock him out, they'll go, oh my God, blah blah blah. You know, so it's just a thing they love doing, and maybe they love it that much, and their body secretes hormones, and they get that kind of hormone rush because it's feel good. Maybe that's what it is, and it could be possible even that when you show them a quicker way of doing things, they can see it and they do understand it. Just that they love doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Back to the love thing. Some people just love it, you know, and it doesn't matter what you say to them, you can't convince them. You know,
It's like Bruce said, it's the hardest thing is to be honest to oneself.
that's it.
Yeah.
Right. Be truthful and be honest. You know, and again, that's the same thing that people hang on to every word that Bruce said, but they never apply it.
Yeah.
They're good at reciting all this stuff, but they don't practice what they preach. There they do.
You can sometimes even hear people say, well, everybody can do an eye jab. Well, it's really funny thing because when you have a beginner guy and you see how he does the finger jab, you can see this guy clearly cannot do a finger jab. You know, it's like when you would say everybody can punch. That's true, but the question is how, you know, like
I know.
like a beginner punch or like a more advanced punch.
Of course.
Same idea. It's to sit.
No, it's not just as easy.
No.
It's really relatively simple, but no easy.
No easy.
Hate to paraphrase that, but just to throw that eye jab and get it right, get the timing right, get everything. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do that. You know, for the tip of your left toe right through your body, right to the tip of your right finger, everything in between's got to be trained.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all got to work and sequence. It's all got to work with precise timing. You know, and it's all got to be honed to perfection. And when people talk about learning millions of techniques, you'll go like, man, you don't even understand one thing. Rather, you're training 20 different things. You know, I mean, you could never understand 20 different things and know the inner workings of 20 different things and have the timing. And even if, you know, you could imagine the amount of time you'd have to invest in your day to be good at all that stuff to take to perfection, as well as, you know, run a life and have a girlfriend or a wife or a family or even a life. You wouldn't have enough time to do any of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you've got to be constantly decreasing. I do that in my workout as well. I go like, is there two things I'm doing that's more or less working the same thing? I cut that out. So even when I'm press ups and pull ups and doing X, Y, and Z, I'm always looking to shorten it, to make it more efficient. You know, it's like when I was doing crunches. I had a 15 kilo plate on my feet, and I had 15 kilos on each side Olympic bar, and I was doing a crunch with an Olympic bar and a leg raise at the same time, because I was like, well, killed two birds with one stone. Why do two different exercises? Put them in one exercise and do it.
Yeah.
And at work, people used to look at me in the gym and go, my God, because I'm not been big-headed, but it was quite impressive because, you know, a weight on your feet like that and holding an Olympic bar with maybe 15 kilos on each side. In fact, I think, if my memory serves me right, but I need to check my book, I think at one point at 20 kilos on each side, and to do crunches on the deck with that and lift your feet, that's quite an achievement, you know, because I was just hammering the strength thing. You know, I wanted to see how strong I could get. So, but I changed my workout a couple of weeks ago there just because I'd been really hammering that workout for 3 months, so I decided to change it. But I'm going to get back to doing that as well.
What do you think about this? I've seen a video, a guy talking about training, weightlifting, right? And he said that many known or like how can you say, like celebrity guys who train, they train more like this, so they don't train every set to the failure. You train less than to the failure, but you can do more sets then in a week. So you actually have more volume on training than when you train to the failure, right?
Yeah.
So the logic is, if you train to the failure, you can only do maybe 2 or 3 or 4 sets, and you maybe do this once, twice a week. But if you don't go like 100% to the failure, you could actually do more sets and more volume.
I heard something like that, and what I think I saw maybe the same clip where he was talking about there's what was it he said again? There's 3 different ways that people train. They train and they don't go to failure, where there's get a lot of gas left in the tank.
Yeah.
Then you've got people who go to, absolute failure where they've got nothing left. He says, but there is another way, and I think it's the same guy that maybe you're talking about, where he says that you can go to failure, but it's no absolute failure.
Yeah. Like one rep or 2
That's
reps
right.
maybe left.
Well, that's really what I do, to tell you the truth, because my next set, I will probably get maybe even more reps with it or something, because I've no went to absolute failure where there's nothing left.
Yeah.
But I do push it. There's no 2 ways about it. I certainly do.
So, and that's maybe also for people, like who train also martial arts. So if you train like weightlifting absolutely to the failure, and how you're gonna kick another like 500 kicks the same day, or you know what I mean? Because you're not just training weightlifting, that's a supplementary training.
I found that I get quite good results with splitting my workout into tiny bits, and maybe even, rather than going to the gym once a week, once a day, and totally hammering it, that I done 2 workouts and didn't crush it. If that makes any sense. The second workout I came and I had a lot of energy. And there was one day that I actually was thinking about going 3 times, because I had so much energy, and I couldn't believe how much I'd done and how much I'd pushed, what I was training. Sometimes I think you've just got to try different ways and listen to your body. Some people, maybe one way will work better for them. Some people, it won't. It's a matter of just, you've got to try different things, and listen to what your body's telling you. A couple of times that I didn't go to the gym because my cartilage was sore, and
Which
I
one?
I left it for a day. We went back the next day. I felt amazing, and I was lifting a lot heavier, and I just felt great.
Because you took that one day off.
Just to rest my leg, and I was, my God, when I went back the next day, I couldn't believe what I'd done. So, there's always that thing where that. And I always say to this, people, there's a point where you've got to differentiate between being lazy and needing a rest. And some people really struggle with that, how do you know that you're not just lazy, rather than I really need a rest? That's the thing, that's it. And sometimes I struggle with that, because maybe there's something wrong. I go, am I being lazy, or does my body really need a rest? Could I go? And I try and analyze it, and sometimes I'll go, no, I was just lazy today. And I go to the gym, and then when I went to the gym, I went, no, I was just so tired today.
Yeah, you couldn't lift really. Yeah.
So as soon as I start, I know that I wasn't being lazy. I was really just tired. So I don't think there's a definite way. I think there's a lot of different ways, and you've just got to play about it and find what works for you. and listen to your body. Press ups and pull ups always work for me. They always worked. Always get great results with them. So I did. Yep. So but other people might get better results, maybe pushing weights. I don't know. Sometimes press ups and pull ups doesn't suit a lot of people, because some people can't even do a press up to start with, and they can't do a pull up. And other people, maybe it's an ego thing that they want to go to the gym and they want to be lifting weights for people to see, and press ups and pull ups doesn't look like nothing. But you look at most people that go to the gyms, most of them probably couldn't even do pull ups,
Yeah.
you know, or press ups. And I do my press ups inclined like that, you know, with a 20 kilo vest on. And at one point, I was doing sets of 100 and it was getting easy. And I had to think about ways to make it difficult. So I started to slow it down and put pauses in it. And then because I've got injuries in shoulders and elbows, I've had to watch my progress on my pull-ups. But I'm using a 25 kilo plate, and I'm doing pull-ups with that wide and close, you know. And I'm not getting any younger,
Yeah.
but I'm getting stronger. And this week, I'd set my targets once I get to 15 reps with 20. Then what I'll do is I'll add weight. So tomorrow's a pulling day, so I'm going to be adding weight, and it'll probably maybe take me down to about 4 or 5. I maybe got 5 kilos. I'll take me down to about 4 or 5, but you know, that's the next level, and then build it up to 15. Then it'll get down, then build it up. You know, that's that. And I'm always looking for, you know, how can I make this harder? It's like one of the guys said to the owner of the gym. He says, "Man, you've not got an incline board." I says, "You've done away with the one you had." And he says, "Just use the cable and do them." Because I can use a full stack. And he looked at me like that as if to say, "What?" Because I can do the full stack, you know. So I had to figure out ways to do sit-ups. It was unconventional.
Yeah.
So that's what I started doing. And when people see me doing sit-ups with an Olympic bar weights on it, they're going, "My God," and crunches with Olympic bar and, you know, a 20 kilo or a 15 kilo plate in my legs. Well, that's different, because I've just had to, I hate to use that term, think out the box. I hate these terms, but I've had to just to think, or should I say, I've had to take the JKD approach to weightlifting and go, right, I need to kind of improvise here, and I need to adapt, and I need to figure another way of doing this, you know. And that's what I do. I do that with everything. I mean, I was doing leg press and I was doing curls at the same time on the leg press machine, and somebody said to me, "Well, maybe that's not a good idea because the blood's going to your legs and it's got to go to your arms." But I had to think about it, and it did work. But the other thing is, if you were doing clean and press, it'd be the same thing. The blood would need to go from one to the other. And when I'm sitting doing leg press and I'm doing curls or shoulder press at the same time, it's just the same as me doing a clean and press. The only difference is I'm sitting, and I'm doing it that way because I've got problems with my cartilage in my shoulders, but it did work, you know. So I always think about different ways to do it, you know. And to hell with conventional ways. To hell with that. I'm not interested in conventional training. I'm interested in unconventional training, you know. Aye.
What's your body weight?
The creative mind. That's it.
What's your body weight?
I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. Doing one-handed curls, and I moved for them to using 10 kilos. And that was getting easy, and I'm thinking I need to figure out. And then I was doing one-handed deadlift with 20 kilos each side, and I know I could do more, but my grip was letting out. So and I've always had good finger strength, but I've had to start to work on a lot of finger strength because, you know, the weakest link was my fingers. It wasn't that I couldn't lift 20 kilos aside, but 20 kilos aside in a deadlift, it's no easy because when you lift it, you've got to try and balance it. But I can lift more. So every day I go to the gym, or the second workout I go at night, I try and work on finger strength to get my fingers stronger so as I can do that, you know. So I was thinking about pushing things further, you know, what way can I be stronger? You know, one-handed curls, one-handed bench press, one-handed cleaning press, you know, all these things. But it does work, and I feel pretty good with it. Getting stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you see, I'm almost 6'6", and I'm not really big, but I'm nevertheless I'm 100 kilos. It's like 225 pounds or something.
Right.
So I'm happy if I can do like 15 pull-ups just with my body weight.
Right.
It is
Okay.
already 100 kilo.
Aye.
Yeah. Uh, okay. You guys have some questions. Um, Robert said, if you have elevated heart rate at rest, then it means you're tired. So between the sets, I guess. So otherwise it's just lazy.
All right. I need to remember that.
Are you going your Belfast seminar or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
This Saturday. Aye.
Oh yeah,
This Saturday.
it's your birthday.
My birthday on Saturday. I got a seminar.
Okay, okay.
Yep. And then next weekend, my son's girlfriend's going to have a kid, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Brandon?
Yep.
He's
his
got a kid?
girlfriend's- Yep. Next Saturday.
Oh,
No,
he's
not
got
this
a kid?
Saturday, but next.
How old?
Eh?
How old is the kid?
No, it's not. It's not been born. It's a week this Saturday.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. Nice, nice. You can send him greetings from me.
I will. I certainly will. Yep.
Oh, I'm too much up. Ah, this guy's asking same question all the time. How's your car? You're still driving Porsche?
Still driving it.
Is it okay?
Well, I had to get a drive shaft fitted last week, a week before. Every time I turned the corner, it was clicking. So that's fixed. But no, I love it. It's a great car to drive. It's incredibly fast, and the shape just never goes out of style. So no, aye,
Yeah.
great, love it.
I'm getting rid of mine. Mine
Oh,
is
right, are you?
yeah, I still have the red one, right?
Right, okay.
It's 23 years old, and
My God.
I just bought another car. It's you know, the family wagon.
Uh-huh.
It's a Toyota Avensis, and
All right, okay.
so I'm gonna, as soon as I get the car, I'm gonna sell that one
All right.
for a
God,
few,
you've had that a while.
for a few bucks. I
Uh-huh.
have it since 18 years.
My God. Uh-huh. It's a while.
Since 2005.
You must be in love with it.
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
I know the feeling.
But now it's time. It's time for a new one, because you know, after the car is 23 years old.
My God.
23 years old.
Uh-huh.
And but it's still first engine, first gear box, first gears, nothing.
That's good.
Everything is first one in this car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You just can't break it. I just have to watch the oil because it loses a little bit oil, you know. It burns apparently a little bit oil.
Right.
So
I wouldn't advise MD to buy a Porsche, to tell you the truth.
yeah,
If MD said, Tommy, I'd like to buy one, what do you think? I'd say, don't buy one, because the amount of money they cost you and repairs
it's money pit.
is unbelievable. That I'd be scared to tell you how much money I spent last year in this car in repairs. Is frightening, because one of my students he said to me, "Can I sit in your car? I want to buy one." And you know, so Porsches, you know, you can pick them up. They're not expensive. Okay, if you get a newer one here, but
Used, yeah.
if they break down, forget it.
The problem
You
is
would
if you buy a used one, you never know how they were treated, you know?
I know.
That's the problem.
So
Because
if a gearbox goes in it, you talk about £3,000 or £4,000.
yeah,
If an engine goes in it, oh my God, you know. So that's the thing. Great to drive, great to own, but you just pray if you buy one that it doesn't need much work in it, because if it does, you're going to be shelling a hell of a lot of money, you know. But my car ends up that it's more expensive now than what I bought it for. More valuable.
yeah.
So it's probably, I think, if my memory serves me right, a friend of mine was telling me it's probably about nearly £10,000 more sitting a day and what I bought it for. So I'll keep a hold of it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the cars like this, if they're in good shape, they get more expensive when they get older.
I know.
So you
I
could,
know.
if you keep it, you know, you could really sell it for good money
I know.
in the future. So some Q Young asks me if I'm gonna do a seminar this year. So this year probably not. I was thinking maybe because we canceled the 5-day camp. You have the same weekend you have the camp in Glasgow. I may come there. I'm not sure really yet because of my work. Um, maybe we do the weekend before. I don't know how your schedule is. Maybe the weekend before you come to Germany, just for weekend. I'm not really sure. I have to check it with my work.
If you've got enough people, I'll come for the weekend and do
Yeah.
that. That's no
Yeah.
problem. Aye, that'd be good if you can get numbers.
I would also like to go to Glasgow. I wasn't there for ages. Maybe we
The last one we had, I really did enjoy it. You know, I more or less took a back seat on it. You know, the guys were kind of teaching, and each one of them had a group, and they had a prescribed amount of things they were doing. So I really enjoyed it. I just spectated and just made sure everything was okay. But I'd enjoyed it. It was really good. And it was good to see Eric was at that camp, and so was
I was
Alex.
surprised that he was there.
Aye, and Alex and Derek was there, and a couple of guys from England. And
did you teach in your school? Did you teach in your school? In your place?
That was my place.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep. That was a good weekend. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, nice. Well, some people I'm not sure how the flights and everything has got so much expensive, especially flights. They are so expensive nowadays.
I know.
That's one of the reasons we actually got a new car, because my wife she booked a holiday in summer in Turkey. And you can book a hotel, you know, right? And then you can book a flight, like together in the one booking.
Right, a package deal.
Yeah, right. And because we are 4 persons, me, she, and 2 kids, and the youngest is like 5, and you have to pay for the youngest as well. They are only for free if they are under 3 years old, right? And the flight would be like 3,000 euro extra.
Wow.
So I said, hey, I'm not gonna pay for damn flight 3K, right? And I said, well, I mean, my car is getting old and I have to buy a new car anyway. So let's get a new car with, you know, wagon with space. And so the idea was to drive with the car to the holiday instead of fly.
Right, okay.
And that's how we decided then to get this car. Yeah.
I'm doing a seminar for Brian next weekend, and then I think Alex's seminar in Italy is before the one in Chicago in July. And I don't know if Derek's want me to do another one and maybe in October in San Francisco. I don't know. I'll wait and see.
So when you're going to Chicago, when is that?
I think that's July. And then Robert Miller
in Japan.
Asked me.
In Japan.
Yep, he'd said that the guys over there were thinking about inviting me, maybe around about August, to do a seminar there.
Okay.
And they were trying to work out the best way to get me there, because I would have to fly to Tokyo and then I'd have to get another flight to another city, because they don't fly direct.
Yeah.
Because there's a bigger group training in one of the other cities. I said, well, whatever, just let me know, you know. But I've not heard then for the Chinese guys. I think maybe they still get problems with COVID there, but I'm not 100% sure, you know. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean everything has got so expensive, so crazy. But the prices are slowly getting back where they were. But I read with the flights, it's not getting really any better.
I know,
Especially because, you know, like people couldn't fly for 1 or 2 years, and now everybody wants to go to holidays,
I know,
and
I
the
know.
prices they just explode. Yeah,
Aye.
maybe it would be even better idea to drive with a car to Glasgow, but you know, just left side traffic.
Aye,
Yeah,
they took a bit of time to get used to because I
yeah.
was like that when I went to the States one time. I was driving on the other side of the road. That took a bit of time to get used to that. It wasn't easy, you
I
know.
would love to drive with the car there,
Uh,
but it's
I drove a few times. First couple of days were a bit frightening, but after that it was easy. You know, plus the thing is it was a it was an automatic gearbox
yeah.
where in the UK the majority of cars are manual, so it was even easier, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Same here. I mean, in I think in Europe, general manual is still the main, but
Aye.
uh, not like in the US. US you have barely manuals. My new one is also automatic, so I'm getting
Right.
rid of manual.
That's good.
No,
Mine's
no.
is my car's a Triptronic. It's you can mix it between manual and you know thing with automatic, but I
You
just
have
keep it
pad
automatic.
shifting. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the pedals you can
yeah,
do
yeah.
that with, you know.
That's nice. Can you ask Tommy how to strengthen tendons and ligaments? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe also a little bit about isometrics and stuff.
I think that um, doing isometric is pretty good for that, but you know, I used to practice the isometrics years ago, and I never felt as if that I was getting any results. And then I was reading something, I can't remember what it was, and somebody was talking about the same thing. They didn't get results, and it's really just about the intensity. I'm just watching this cat sitting here. It's all about the intensity. And what the person said was, if you're say you were maybe doing, I don't know, isometric curls or something like that. So if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it doesn't work. And what they said is you should actually be shaking when you're doing it because that's the level of intensity.
Mhm.
So
So when the muscles start to shake.
so if you just tense it up and you're doing that and you're no shaking, it's no intense enough. But when you're going like that and you're shaking like that, then apparently that's the right level of intensity. So maybe they should try that, you know. But I used to do Bruce's 8 different, was it 8 or 9? I can't remember. 9 different exercises
Mhm.
on the rack. I had a special rack built, and
I
you'd
it was in the basement.
that's right.
Yeah.
So you could put the bar at the different heights for the deadlift, you know, the clean and press, the squat. You know, there's 9 exercises, and you go underneath it, and you push and you pull, you do all these things, you know, with the curl. And I done that, and I didn't get any results. And I found out, as just I'm saying to you, that it was the wrong intensity.
Yeah.
So, but they do work. They certainly do. But again, I think you've got to still work with using weights as well. I don't think you can just use them on the ring. I think it's good to use weights as
It's
well.
combination.
It's good to use a combination, you know. But
I like to use rubber bands. You know,
they're good as well.
I was just looking if I can find one. Wait a second. In there.
Okay, that's been good. Huh? You right, pal?
You can forget about it when you have kids. You know, you never can find stuff.
I know.
So when I take the rubber band, you know, you can like stretch it, and
Uh-huh.
and what I basically do when I do isometrics with rubber bands, I go like I try to rip it, you know, I try to rip it
Uh-huh.
apart. So you go and you start to shake,
Uh-huh.
and then I don't know how much you can hold. But you can't really hold that long when you shake, you know, like just a
Aye.
few seconds.
No, I think rubber bands for punching. I thought that was a great exercise, and
Mm.
always always swore on that ankle weights for kicking. So rubber bands for punching, ankle weights for kicking. Once you can use one ankle weight, put two on, and start kicking with two, after a few months, you're going to be looking for a heavier weight.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking for another way to put more weight on it. But your kicks will be will be so fast. And that was a Chinese guy away in the 70s that I knew who had a restaurant. And we used to go to this restaurant every Saturday. And the guys were martial artists, but that was a way back in the time where most Chinese people would never tell you that they practiced martial arts. They were very secretive. But he knew that we always used to come in and he used to hear us talking about Bruce Lee, and he'd come up and says, you guys, you like Bruce Lee? And we were like, oh yes, Bruce Lee's amazing. And he says, so you practice Kung Fu? And we're like, aye, we practice Kung Fu, you know. And he said, you want to kick like Bruce Lee? We went like, sure. And he goes, well, you put weight on your leg and you kick, and with easy, you get heavier weight, and you kick like Bruce Lee. And we went away and bought ankle weights, and that's what we done. We were just kicking every day with ankle weights, and then putting two ankle weights on, you know. So, but that certainly does work, you know. There you go. So you can get even 5 kilo ankle weights as well.
It's like 4 kilo.
4, aye.
It's pretty heavy.
Just put 2 of them on.
Yeah. What I don't like about these is when you kick, you know, they just.
I know.
Move, and then I try to fix them so they don't move really.
Aye, maybe just need to put duct tape around about it. That's what we have to do sometimes. But it does work. You know, if you're wanting to if you're wanting to just get a band and just practice punching and rep that thing out, you know, and do that and put the weights on and kick. You know, plus the thing is, you know, and this was Jesse taught me this, you know, you can actually use the resistance band and you can do isometric weight or isokinetic.
Same movement.
You don't start for here, start for way back there. So rather than 3, day 4, day 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Do that. But you can also tie it round and punch with it. And rep it out that way and then make it tighter. So you're doing maybe sets of 50 and you're punching with that and then make it tighter again. So you can work between, you know, just practicing the punch with the band or actually doing isokinetic. And you can do the same with ankle weight. With ankle weight, what you can do with that is you can practice kicking. So you practice kicking like a front kick and then you practice kicking like a side kick. You don't even need to use your footwork. But another thing you can do is that when you're doing it is you can have the weight on your leg, but hold your leg out like that. So you hold on to something, have your leg straight out and see how long you can hold it with two ankle weights on there. And your leg will begin to shake, but that works as well. And same with the side, that's what I was doing. You know, even in the gym, I would take my 2 weights, put them on my ankle, grab onto some, and just stick my leg out and just hold it until I couldn't hold it any longer. But that works as well. So even grabbing it and pushing the kick in and out, and then at the end of it, practice just standing there and holding the kick as long as you can. All that stuff works. Don't get me wrong, it's painful.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially when you get older.
I know. But
the tiger. Eye of the tiger.
It does work. It certainly does work.
I saw a question. I mean, there's a certain quote of Bruce Lee which goes like, "I haven't created a new style," and that's always been used by people to say like there is no JKD. But I think I read that as well, that the Bruce never said that he created something new. He just took the obvious. Okay,
that's it.
I mean, that doesn't.
I don't think he created anything new. I think he just applied common sense to hand-to-hand combat. JKD is just built on common sense. When you see other things, you kind of wonder why they're doing that. You know, it's like why should you go for here? Why should you go from here to here and use your elbow when you could have done that? Your elbow's pointing backwards. So it doesn't make any sense to travel 2 feet to hit a guy with an elbow for way back here when your hand is closer and you can just do that. In fact, You could even do that.
Yeah.
And win with sticking that right into his eye or even right into his throat and win rather than going like that for here and trying to hit him. You know, it's no good economics and it's no common sense.
You know what? The most dumbest argument I've heard against the finger jab is the following: if you eye jab a guy, he's going to eye jab you back.
Ah, oh my God, huh? That's comical.
That's really comical. It's like when you say if you shoot the guy, he's going to shoot you back.
I know. When you eye jab him, he's not going to be doing much to come back at you. He's going to be trying to figure where his eye is, or he's going to be incapacitated. He's not going to be having the chance to eye jab you back. Plus, he's not even going to see what happened. That's the thing. That thing just shoots out and hits you that way. You don't see it. You just feel it. And if you're working your bands and you're doing all this stuff here, he would hardly even see you moving. It would be like that, and that thing would boot back. It wouldn't even see anything. It'd be a case of your shoulders would be like that, and that'd be hit. It'd be like a blur, and your body would just go out, and then it would recoil back in, and it'd be nothing. And he'd be, oh shit, man,
I mean, some people, I think they just think eye jabbing is going like this or something. It's like punches. Imagine you get punched in the head with the punching force, but you just do the eye jab. It's the same force.
I was on the receiving end of an eye jab for Jesse.
Yeah.
And probably one of the guys, Robert Tumilty, who is a really good friend of mine, and he ran a school in Belfast, and he brought Jesse across, well, through me. And he was there when I had the goggles on, and Jesse threw the eye jab, and it took the goggles off and took me with it, and I went into mid-air, landed, So, that wasn't just a wee part. He drove that thing like firing an arrow or throwing a spear. That thing came towards me like a bullet. I just went boom, and I was like, wow, and you're thinking, imagine he'd done that and he was aggressive and he didn't like you because you'd pissed him off. My God, it would be.
Karim says the eye jab argument comes from Jacko Wilco. I have no idea who that is, and he says I think his name is, and also Bas Rutten has a similar statement. But there's a video of Bas Rutten, and where Bas Rutten told the story where he had a fight. He had a fight in a bar or something. And he said people came at him and he has to defend himself, and then suddenly there were too many bad guys, and he said, and now I saw all that people, and now I said to myself, now I'm just going for the groin and for the eyes. Funny. Bas Rutten said that.
Well, why did he not do that to start off with?
Yeah. So now when it becomes more serious, then he said, now I'm just gonna eye jab people and kick him in the groin. Funny. Why?
I know.
Yeah. He was a bouncer or something. So similar story you had as well.
Aye, right.
Remember that? Yeah, simplicity is the key. That's true. Karim Davis, yeah, and Jacko said he has been attacked by eye gouging, but didn't work on him. Yeah, I said following. I'm still waiting for video proof where somebody posts a video how he gets eye jabbed or groin kicked, and then immediately after that is able to do a solid combination on the pads.
Right.
I'm still waiting for this video. Nobody is posting this video.
No. It's like I think it was Alex that told me this one about this guy in Italy, and he put this thing up on the internet, and he offered them say something like say €10,000, right?
Yeah.
And he said, right, you sign a disclaimer or something, and I'll come with a knife, and you try and disarm me we did any of that Filipino stuff. He says, and to this date, nobody's ever turned up, you know, and took him up on it.
Yeah, well, the problem with this is, I mean, even with disclaimer, you can't really do that.
I know.
Because you're gonna kill the guy eventually, right? Oh, he just signed the disclaimer. I can kill him, lad. It doesn't matter.
I know. It's funny.
Imagine that. I remember you told the story when you guys were practicing knife defense and you stabbed your friend in the forearm.
That's right. Stabbed him with a balisong knife like that. It was. You remember that bit in the movie called Young Guns?
No.
Remember that bit when Christian Slater is fighting Lou Diamond in the Indian graveyard in the movie Young Guns with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, and he stabs him through the arm, and the two of them are looking at each other, and he's pulled a knife out. Well, that's what happened to me. Yeah. I had a balisong knife and I stabbed him through the arm, and he stood like that, and I stood like that. The two of us were frozen in time, and we looked at each other, and I'm pulling a knife out his arm, and he just stood there like this, and there was hardly any blood.
Yeah,
that was the thing. I thought when I pulled this thing out, we're going to be covered in blood, and it was just like you'd stuck your knife into a bit of steak.
Yeah,
that's what it was like. The skin really opened up, but it looked as if you just stuck your knife into a bit of steak. But there wasn't a lot of blood. I was quite. It was a big hole. There's no two ways about it. I think I get more frightened he did, because I just saw there's a point where you're doing things in slow motion. I just saw the thing getting into his skin, and I went, "Oh my God!" You know, the stupid things you do when you're younger with training with live blades. Oh, for God's sake.
The reason why there wasn't the blood is because the moment you get injured with this sharp object, right, which is a knife, the blood vessels where they get cut, they get shocked and they pull together, you know. So
okay.
But if you would let it, like for a few seconds or minutes, the blood eventually would start. So you should quickly. I guess you did.
I would just taped it up. And that was okay.
Yeah. For fuck's sake! Imagine that. All this. I remember. I've got a video. The title of it was VHS cassette. You know, back in the 90s, before the internet stuff and stuff. The title was Jeet Kundo Kali.
Okay.
And then you see a guy with a knife. You know, that was the intro, and he had the knife, you know, like this, and doing like that. And the next scene, do you want to learn to defend against attacks like this? And then, who but with knives? So I guess you do these exercises, and the scene at the beginning. How can you defend against this, man?
I know.
There's no way you can deflect these knives. It doesn't really make any sense showing the this and then the learning to defend against that.
Plus the thing, when people, if somebody pulls a knife and they show you a knife and they're moving, they're not going in this even time movement. Yeah. Everything is a broken time.
Yeah.
And trying to stick or trying to connect to something that's broken time, you know, that's no get even beats, that's starting and stopping and starting, and they've got pause in between it. For you to even touch their hand is incredibly difficult, never mind grab it and then hopefully take a knife. But you always see that the guy goes like that and they do it, and they grab the knife, they grab the guy's arm and they're doing it. Well, the other guy's arm is just down here, nothing. It's like that doesn't exist. You're disarming him here, but this arm doesn't exist. Now, what happens is if you went like that and the guy grabs it, what about the other guy just punching you and knocking you out? Well, you've got two hands on him trying to take this knife off him. It's like, again, it's back to the same old thing. This is stuff that people love.
Yeah, looks nice.
And they can't bring themselves to some kind of realization that it's fantasy because they love it. And probably are doing it again. There'll be hormones getting secreted through their body because they feel it's like the happy hormones because it feels great to do that. Look at me, and you feel fantastic, you know. And you can't convince them, like, man, not to do. Just hit them with something, or you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's really hard for people to let go.
That's the problem.
Just
They just cannot let go, you know. Can't let go. Well, why should I let go? I love practicing it. Well, it's not about you love it. It's about, you know, do you need it? Do you honestly need it? And
yeah,
could you honestly use it for real? And that's what you've got to take into consideration. Do you think you could actually use that? So, and the next question would be, how many hours a week do you train? And they go, oh, maybe 2 hours a week. So 2 hours a week. And how many techniques do you practice in the class? Oh, well, we practice a lot of things. So 2 hours a week with a lot of techniques you practice in the class, and you think you're going to use this highly complex technique and for real against people that's no complying and against people who are really, really trying to hurt you.
yeah.
Don't just do a technique or you're a punch. They're really trying, and you're living in a fantasy world. Real fantasy. Pick a few things, as Bruce says, train them to the point of perfection.
Yeah.
That's a daily decrease.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then that's when we come to the subject. You know, natural stance, keeping distance. You know, let's say all these trapping exercises, they are done from you know, like here, and you stand as like 1 foot away from your opponent. He's gonna stab you if you want. There's nothing you can do against that. You can, like you said, can you the story when you was a bouncer and the guy was stabbed in the head.
That's right.
Yeah, how that happened, and
Well,
what you
just
saw.
what you said. We were about that distance away. You know, I was here. One guy was there. One guy was there. It was maybe less than 2 feet away. The other bouncer was here.
Mhm.
The guy on the right side, you never even saw the knife. He came up and went like that. As quick as he went like that, he put his hand down like a blur. He stabbed him the side of the head. Well, and that's that. No, that side. That side of the guy's head. Stabbed him. Never even saw the knife, and he could have easily stabbed the 2 years and stabbed him. Stabbed him. Knife went down. He walked away, and we went like that. We actually thought he'd hit him. He staggered back. He had a gash here.
Yeah.
We took the guy and we slung him out.
So you actually
I
thought.
think he walked away, and then I can't remember if we threw him out or we told him to leave. I can't remember what happened anyway. We were more concerned about the other guy, where we were dealing with him. So the guy was stabbed. He left through another door, and we were away from the ambulance. We saw him walking across. There was a grass area, and as he was walking, he was getting closer to the ground. And every now and again, the blood would squirt. It would run, then squirt with his pulse. Next minute, bang! The ambulance came. He get taken away, you know. But apparently, this other guy, who, no, I can't remember if he left or what happened. Apparently, he'd done this before and he'd stabbed quite a few people. But
so he
what chance would you ever have if somebody's standing within that distance? You know, if they can touch you with their hand, a weapon, they would have you stabbed so many times you wouldn't even see it.
Yeah.
So when people talk about taking knives or stopping punches at that distance, there, living in a fantasy world.
So you didn't even see
reaction lag time.
You didn't.
That's what Jesse talked about all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and if he's close enough to touch you, he'll get you. You might touch him, but he'll get you. And if that's a weapon, he doesn't need any force. All he's got to do is basically touch you. Game's over. Distance gives you safety.
Yeah.
Distance gives you time. If you're caught close, maybe move away. If you're caught close and there's no an option, bang.
Yeah.
That's it.
You didn't even see that it was a knife. You thought initially it was a punch.
Well, I thought he came up and punched him, but it's a knife. It wasn't really that big, you know. But
do you know what happened to the guy?
No, I thought about maybe 30 years ago, maybe even longer than that, you know. But that was a dangerous place to work in. It was so dangerous, you have no idea. You know, it's fighting all the time, and I was like, ah,
What
I'm out
was
of here.
this with Glasgow and this kind of how you can say atmosphere there that the people were so violent?
It was just a culture thing. You know, it's a culture thing that went on for a very long time. Before knives, it was razors,
Oh,
open razors. You know, but it's a culture thing that's what people done. You know, it's not as Glasgow is not as bad today as what it was 30 years ago. I mean, Glasgow is a extremely dangerous place 30 years ago, and there was a lot of stabbings. You know, at one time it was a murder capital of Europe. It's not a good thing to brag about, but at one time it was. You know, and as the police used to say, well, I knew some police officers and they used to say, well, it's just shite, killing shite, but they're still human beings, doesn't matter if they're shit or not. But aye, there was so many knife attacks and stabbings and slashings. It's unbelievable, you know. And a lot of people carried knives. So I did, but
terrible, man.
I don't know. But
And
you don't know.
you worked at the worst time.
I worked at the worst time, you know, at the height. Well, I wouldn't say at the height of that, but I worked at easily one of the worst times, you know. But I would never do it now. It's an incredibly dangerous job, and you could, well, you could get killed for the sake of, I don't know what they get paid, but you could easily get killed.
I guess the payment wasn't that high, right?
No, it wasn't really that high, you know. It wasn't that high. When you think about it, it was really just peanuts you're working for. But
So you
it was
were
good. It was good today, but and it gave me experience. But when I look back on it, I would never suggest anybody took that job. You know,
Did you teach at that time already in the school?
I was teaching and run a few classes. I
Okay.
did. Quite a few of the people that I walked on the doors were students of mine. So
Oh, really? Okay. Nice.
yep.
I guess in environment like this, you need actually a team.
Well, the thing is, when you're on the door, it's better to be working with people you know, because if you really don't know them, you're no guaranteed that if anything goes wrong, they would have your back.
Mm.
So when you know people, at least they would have your back if anything goes wrong. But if you're working with strangers, they might know of your back, and you've certainly got to have people that you know that's watching your back. And a few times I was close to getting hot with bottles, and people watched my back. You know, crazy times.
The guy asks, do you have any like technique or tactic for controlling fear?
I really just think fear's a natural thing. Somebody asked me that before one time. Fear's a natural thing. When people say they're not scared, I'm inclined not to believe them. I think everybody would be scared. If you're not scared, you're mentally unstable.
I guess sociopath isn't scared, maybe.
I know you're mentally unstable, but everybody would be scared. It's like going to the dentist.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I defy that. I think everybody goes to the dentist is going, oh shit, you know, they still get that kind of fear element going, oh my God. So
Yeah, well, dentist. And Karim says as well, Glasgow is getting better though, step
yep.
by step, and it seems very friendly towards tourists. Was it only Glasgow or the whole Scotland, like Edinburgh?
No, it was just Glasgow.
Really?
Aye.
That's
Edinburgh didn't have the same problem. It was just Glasgow.
how comes really interesting.
Aye. I
Interesting.
don't know. It's hard to. I don't know. Maybe it's just a tribal thing. Maybe that's what it is. You know.
Is it could it be something with football? Glasgow Rangers and maybe?
Well, there was a problem with football. There was a problem with religion. There was a problem with people staying in different areas and gangs. You know, all that contributed to it. You know, but it could be just a kind of tribal thing, like a way back in the days of the clans. It could be something for that, because you know it was slightly different in England. They didn't have the same violence, and they didn't have the stabbings that we had up here. You know, maybe it was just a Celtic thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Because you know, English are more or less Anglo-Saxons with that doing the fore end, and Scottish, Irish, Welsh, and the people from northern France, they're all Celtic. They're Celtic descent. Maybe it's a Celtic thing. I don't know.
How is it? Stuff like that. I always have to think about Northern Ireland. But I think there was more shootings, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. So, do we have another question? Places like what is that? Paisley?
Paisley. Uh-huh.
Sometimes, but north of Scotland is very peaceful. People do not even lock their doors.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice. Do you have any seminars in China? I haven't seen anything.
No, nothing
How are
yet.
guys in China doing?
I was talking to Neil maybe a few months, well, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. So I think they're still suffering for a bit of COVID there, but I'm not 100% sure.
But they had really hard lockdowns, right? Yeah.
Yep, certainly did. So I don't know. I know Japan was bad, but they must be getting over it when they're thinking about inviting me. So that'd be interesting. It'd be good to go there again. See some of the newer guys in the group. That'd be pretty fun. That'd be fun.
You were in Korea recently, right? Is it true?
No.
I know the Ken was only posting videos. That's what it was.
I think he's getting back into teaching. I think he was unwell for a while there, so I think he's getting back into teaching. So,
yeah, Karim
was
Karim. He was in Korea.
That's right. So he was.
He was in Korea. He saw Ken there. Yeah.
That's good.
He was that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Karim is always filming something. All the time, right?
No.
Okay, so you wanna talk about something?
I don't know. I think we covered quite a lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
We covered the myth about the challenges.
Oh yeah. So just to recap, right? There's no confirmed challenge, okay? And even Rick Young never confirmed that.
No.
So everybody who is pushing this bullshit is just bullshit. And also Ken Shamrock. Well, this Ken Shamrock challenge is somehow this just died off. People probably thought this is too incredible to believe, so we're not gonna put. And amazing is, yeah, of course we're gonna take Rick Young because he's from Glasgow as well. So
he's from Edinburgh.
Yeah, so it would from Scotland. I want to say from Scotland, right? And so it would make a kind of sense, right? Because he's a little bit nearby. But
see, people were always trying to cause trouble.
Yeah.
Between the 2 years, because he was for the concept camp and I was for the original camp. So there was always a lot of jealousy and people tried to cause trouble. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of them that tried to cause the trouble and just make this bullshit up, But
do you have still contact with Lee? Do you know what he's what he's doing? Because he was to military. That was the time when he stopped training, actually. But I don't think he's a military.
I think he had a couple of kids, so that probably changed his life. But I don't know.
That's the end. The kids are the end for most people.
Well, they put a massive restriction on a lot of things you do in your life. They certainly do,
Yeah.
But no, it's some really good guys in the basement. They really, really were. You could, as I said, you couldn't find a bad one. They were, pretty decent guys, good level of skill. But like everything else, people's lifestyles change and they've just not got the time anymore. And maybe they don't have the interest. That's another thing. Maybe the interest dies away and they've not got the same interest. And then they get older. That's another thing. So tons of things contribute to, people coming to train.
Yeah.
But as long as there's interest, I'll keep teaching people. I'll just keep doing the job and try to do it to the best of my ability.
I think it's really pity that you lost the basement. It was a really nice place.
It was a good place.
Yeah, it was a nice play.
Well, like everything else, people just get greedy for money, and um, we'd have still been there, but it's just a greed thing. That's all it is. Greed. You know, local authorities get greedy, want more money off of people, and they just don't realise that people are struggling, and they want to push them and get more money. But there's only so much you can push somebody. Then, if they can't afford it, they're not there.
Do you know what is in the basement now?
I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth.
Okay, that's really the school you had before basement was slightly bigger, right?
Yep.
That's the one you can see in your underground video, I guess. Is that the one?
I think that's it.
Yeah. But I didn't see
that.
that.
Ted Wong taught there, and Jesse taught there, and who else? Leo Fong taught there. Aye, quite a few folk taught there. That was a good school. Basement was probably the best one, but you know,
everybody's dead now.
I know that's the thing.
Everybody's dead.
When I look at the photograph on my Facebook page, you know, I think there's only 4 years alive between me, Greg Long, Shannon, Linda, and Mario. You know, Gary's gone, Jesse, Alan Joe, Ted, Richard Bastille. I can't think who else. They're all gone. It's the thing is, I'm glad I got to meet them, and I got to know these guys, but it's sad that they're all gone. But you can't live forever, you know. But aye, it was great. I was part of it when they were alive, you know, and I got to meet a lot of these other people. So
the time it goes so fast by. The first time I was in your school, it's like 15 years ago.
I know, you wonder where the time goes. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It just, every day accelerates by quicker than you can imagine. You've got to try and make the best of every day. Can't believe how quick it goes. You know? Right.
Yeah. I when I met you, I think you were like 48 or something.
Right. God's sake.
48, now you're 63, right? You're gonna get 64. I'm gonna
64.
And like 2 weeks after you, I'm 44.
Wow, my God.
And when I met you, I was 27.
Where did the time go?
Unbelievable, man. 27. I mean, when you're 27, you're really just a kid. I mean, for the guys who are like in their 20s, but you're really just like basically still a kid.
Yeah.
And yeah. So is there any new plans for the organization? Have you some ideas or something?
No, really, to tell you the truth, you know, no, I really can't think. I think, you know, as I've said to all the guys, try and teach kids to try and keep things going. That's about the only thing I've said to everybody. And I think quite a few guys are teaching kids, which is pretty good. But I don't know. We just keep plodding away and teaching and trying. That's about it.
It's really difficult.
It's incredibly difficult, you know. Plus, the thing is, the younger generation today don't seem to be as committed or as focused, you know, and maybe just down that line, a lot of martial arts classes will die, and just because of the nature of how life has changed for everybody.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
People go to gyms, but I think all martial arts classes are facing the same dilemma with really low numbers.
Same is my old karate school. Same stuff.
Yeah.
They say it's just you have just a core of students that will come back. Yeah. And most of the people you see every few weeks maybe. The same is. So I changed my training. I mean, my teaching. I changed. I did teach Wednesdays and Fridays, and then you know, the numbers of students just went down. So I said, okay, because when I took the second day, I said, like back in the years. When I have 15 or more than 15 students, then I'm gonna take another day. And now we are way below 15 again. So I canceled the Wednesday, and I teach only Fridays. And the training itself, or the classes itself, became really much better because you have more people in the class because they only have that one day. Because when I had 2 days, a few people came at one day and other few people came at the other day, and then you had just 3-4 guys Wednesdays, 3-4 guys Fridays, and now like everybody comes in one day, and the training is much better.
That's good.
So that I like this far more. Plus, I don't have to drive. I have to drive like 20 miles to the class, so I don't have to drive twice a week. And so I like it at this moment. I like it much more. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the place is good, but it's really hard. If I would lose the place, I mean, I don't really know if I would look for another one, because Frankfurt, the area Frankfurt, it's so expensive. And if you would want to rent a place like you do, like 24/7, you can pay it. You would probably have to pay it like 1,500 or maybe 2K a month.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So the only option is, to rent some place just for hours. And even for that, some people want so much money nowadays, especially. So I'm in this place. I'm like since 2015, and it's great. Yeah. But most of the evenings are already are not free because they teach their dancing, right?
All right. Okay.
So the only option is like Friday, or I would have to teach like 10 p.m. or something. So that's too late. Nobody comes so late to training, right? That's how it goes, and most people have the same problem around the world. So it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult for people. Kids, maybe. I've seen John Paul is teaching kids, right?
Yep.
He's got his gym, or he's teaching that weightlifting.
Jesse told me to do this about 20 years ago, and I never done it.
Yeah.
So he says you teach kids. Oh man, I have no get patience. No way. But I wish I'd done it 20 years ago. But no, I just
one you can do it. You have your place, you can do it like one. How many classes do you do for kids? One class a week, or every day, or?
No, the majority of kids I teach are all 1-to-1, and then
okay.
All the kids come collectively on a Friday night to train with the guys. So they get 2 training sessions a week. And the guys at school, they get 3 training sessions a week.
Okay, so you teach your basic classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right?
Yep.
And Tuesday, Thursday you give private lessons, probably, I guess.
Every day I teach privately.
Okay.
Apart from Thursday, usually Thursday I take a day off on Thursday.
All this in your school?
Okay.
So you don't teach in your home or something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
No.
That's good. Okay, so do we have some questions? Okay, is there anything Tommy wishes he had incorporated into his training in earlier years? Probably more took it out than incorporated.
I would say that in weightlifting and lifting weights, I think the thing that I should have done was been a bit more patient and no injured myself so many times.
Too heavy weight.
Too eager and lifted weights that were really heavy and tore all sorts of muscles and tendons and you name it. So I would say that's one of the things, because that's how the day I've got so many injuries because of weightlifting when I was younger. We just know of the patience to take my time, you know. And once you get an injury, sometimes you could have it for years, never goes away, just gets a bit better. So I would say that, just been a bit more patient. But we all want things really fast, so
Yeah.
you know, we just go a bit gung-ho when we're training, to hell with it, and then we suffer the consequences when our form's not right and we injure ourselves.
Yeah, that's the thing
Definitely.
about having a good form, because some people claim uh, they take like when Bruce said there's no right way, they take it literally in any aspect, and so they take it even in, like, let's say, form of the sidekick. So like it doesn't really matter how you sidekick. But of course it matters, right? So you want to generate power at the same time you don't want it to injure yourself. And so how you see many people's sidekick do the sidekick, and the supporting leg is like the foot is 90 degree to the target,
I know.
instead of the heel pointing to the target. You know what I mean? So when you sidekick like this, you can really injure your knee.
I know.
And you have to. That's really the thing. I think the most difficult thing when you teach people is really to make him to go slow. You know, when
I keep telling my guys that all the time.
oh, that's
We
so.
always want to speed up and hit the pads hard, and I go slower and do it right.
Yeah.
I said, because there's no point of wasting time doing it fast, doing it hard, and it's wide. Take your time, be more compact and relax. It's really just slowing people down all the time, you know, to make them better. No, it's that's saying slow motion gets you there faster.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
true. It really is, you know.
Yeah, that's it. So
I think it's really good to have a good instructor. That's one of the things that I wish that I'd had when I was younger, was somebody that could actually point me in the right direction.
yeah.
That I didn't need to figure all this stuff out myself. You know, I could have learned it far quicker. But way back when I was doing it, there wasn't any instructors. You know,
Yeah.
people are lucky now that, because they've got a massive wide range of instructors for all different styles of systems. But when I was doing this way back in the day, there wasn't any JKD instructors, you know, none. Probably in America, but no here.
It's not much different today.
Right.
There are not many Jeet Kune Do instructors out there.
I know, and there's no many people that teach it that's get a passion to teach it, do it right. You know, a lot of folk are just commercial and they want money. You know, they're too busy concerned themselves with their own ego, and they're not thinking about the people they teach. You know, but right.
I always compare this to playing instrument. You cannot take an instrument and go fast,
No,
because you're not going to hit a note. You know, so you have to learn it slow and slow and slow, and memorize the movement.
that's
And
right.
eventually, with the time, you can speed up. Same is with this anything you do, not just martial arts.
I know.
How many times I tell guys, hey, just slow down. The moment you put pads up, they go boom,
I know.
and then
A lot of times I just train with it with my palms,
yeah,
then they don't hit it hard, and that usually slows them down to get it right, you know. But you're right, as soon as you put a pad up, they're trying to hit it as hard as they can. They
yeah,
love the sound off it.
yeah, yeah.
And before you know it, everything's just went out the window, you know, everything. So I struggle with that every week, even with the kids. I'm like, take your time, take your time, take your time.
As soon as you put the pads up, it's not hand before foot, it's jump before
I know,
hand.
I know, I know.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The
I need a lot of patience.
Q
But
Young, Q
that's
Young,
all part, yeah.
he says true. Yeah, Q Young is a student of mine. He's from China.
Right.
He's going to China now for a few weeks back. He says Thomas told me many times to keep slow. Yeah. Everybody does that too fast, really.
I know.
And I think really that's the key to get better. To be able to train slow. But majority of my training, when I train actually slow. And just you know, a part of the training, I go really fast and everything. I mean slow. Compared to the fastest I could go. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So okay, Tommy, we are like 3 hours in.
Well,
I would say we have cleared the hopefully cleared up the challenge nonsense.
I know.
And but I guess it won't change anything.
I know.
You know, it won't change anything because you were just shaking when the guy turned up, right?
Oh, he just shake when he turned up.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't see that you did actually isometric exercises.
I
and
know.
you were
That's what it
shaking
was.
from that.
I know.
Okay. So
But
guys,
I know when
yeah.
people make their kind of comments and they're actually talking as if that they were there,
Yeah.
and then it transpires that it never happened. You know, I would hate to be in somebody's shoes that made that comment like they were there, and then it transpires they're a liar. It just shows the character of somebody, and it's just a disgrace that people would fabricate these kind of events to make them feel better.
Yeah, it's that's the purpose of that is to make. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to point out. The purpose of this is to make you or make us look weak. But the thing is, let's say hypothetically, even if you were challenged and you said no, I don't want to fight, it still doesn't make you wrong about Jeet Kune Do. You know what I mean? The one thing doesn't have to do with the other thing. It's I mean, it's all documented, right? If I say the Bruce Lee didn't have any confidence, I say Bruce Lee didn't have any confidence in Wing Chun and Kung Fu, therefore he invented Jeet Kune Do and he went away from Wing Chun. And then the guy comes, I challenge you. So even if you challenge me, it doesn't make this wrong. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. What's the purpose of that?
What's the purpose? Does it change anything?
No, it doesn't change anything.
He comes and fights you. Does that make it better? Does that make it right? It doesn't make it right. Does that suffer? Does that help his ego?
It's still true. It's still the truth.
It's still true.
This is so funny.
I always think that these people should sit and think before they make this stuff up and put their name to it, because when they put their name to it, it really just exposes them for the kind of people there.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
And then people always remember who said it and how it was a lie. And it does nothing. If somebody's trying to gain a bit of credibility and they get caught telling lies like that, their credibility's disappeared. Because it means nobody would believe anything they told you again because they get caught lying before. You know?
Yeah. The other thing is I noticed is, for example, when you argue that Uehara wrote this, right, about Bruce and his thinking about Kung Fu, Wing Chun, and there's also a story, that book where he said what happened when he went back to Yip Man and stuff for the second time. And then the guy who made that video, he argued, well, that's like how you say in English, third person knowledge.
Third person knowledge.
Yeah, nice. But if it comes from Sino Santo, then it's not the third person knowledge. You know what I mean? So everybody else is wrong if it doesn't fit my narrative. So if it fits my narrative, then it's right.
Of
So
course. Right.
that's not how journalism works. You should stay objective, just objective. Okay, so what everybody says, Jesse Glover said the same thing. Howard Williams said the same thing. Ted Wong said the same thing. Mito Ohara here said the same thing, and even Santo admitted in a interview that wait a sec, that what late Bruce Lee was doing was like kickboxing. Okay, so to the layman, right? So even he admitted in an interview the same thing. So basically everybody. So, but Santo, he talks a little bit around. So he says, Bruce encouraged me to find my own way. Well, I'm okay with that. I mean, right? So, but I don't want your way. I want his way. And it's always the same since what?
Maybe if these people stopped bickering and stopped telling lies and kept off the internet and actually trained, maybe they'd be a lot better, and maybe they'd be better people, but jealousy plays a massive part in all this with people. And as I said, they've not got the drive, they've not got the determination, and most of these people are underachievers that never achieve anything. And they're jealous of people that they achieve things, or jealous of people's level of skill or speed or power or strength or anything like that they will never have it. Because they never get off their backside and done anything about it. And I've been relentless since I was a kid. And if people are jealous of me, then they're jealous of the hard work that I put in that they never put in. And that's a fact. Nobody gave me it. I had to go and train to get it. And maybe they just don't have the determination or the motivation or the passion, which maybe they'd have loved to have that, but they just don't have it. And they're jealous of people that do. That's it. It's like people are jealous of people who drive nice cars. That's it. And they cut them off on the road and they look at them. I see it happen in my car. And it's like, well, if you maybe have got off your ass and really done something with your life and made something of your life and worked hard, you might be driving a nice car like mine. But don't be jealous. You know what I mean? Don't be jealous because you never got it. It's not my fault. It's your fault. Maybe you just didn't want something bad enough.
Absolutely. It's well, it's also a threat to the teachings, right? So that's another thing. If we say it's this way, and it's not the same as let's say a person B says, and the person B has to attack us for but I mean, there's no money behind this all. What's the deal?
One guy said to me, "Oh, okay," he said, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but I'll be paraphrasing what he said. Something along the lines of, who says it? You're right. I says, well, go and look at Bruce's notes, and I'm just following what the founder said. So, if you want to question me and you question what I'm saying and what I'm teaching, go and question the guy that founded this martial art, because I'm just following what he done. And I'm repeating what he said. So if I'm wrong, the founder's wrong. Where does that put you?
But then,
are you above him that conceived the martial art? I seriously think
there's this classic moving the goalpost. First they say Bruce said this and this, and then you counter argue and you prove it. Then they move the goalpost. They don't say anymore, yeah, Bruce said that and that. They say, well, if Bruce have lived, then he would have said that and that, right? So they just change they keep the same narrative but have to argue different, because you clearly showed it's not true, and that's why.
A concept guy said one time, and somebody asked me a question, so if Bruce would have lived, what do you think he'd have done? And he said, I think he'd have went more into Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And you stop and you think, why would he go backwards? when he was conceiving, practicing, and training this streamlined martial art to go back the way to do something that's not so streamlined.
In this book, there is what Bruce Lee thought about Muay Thai. And what he said about Muay Thai was that he said these guys train hard and stuff. There's no question about it. But he said it's too predictable. There's no broken rhythm. They do always the same. It's really you can read them really easy. There's no moving. There's no broken rhythm. There's no, everything what's like more in fencing is missing in Muay Thai. That's what he said, and something along those lines. And there you go. And now when you say this to that guy, and then he's gonna say, well, Muay Thai today is not the same as Muay Thai in the 70s. Well, it is. Go look up the videos, Muay Thai fights from the 70s. It's exactly the same as they fight today.
I know.
So
that's why I don't get involved with internet people. I just go on a train and I teach people, and that's it. And
there's
because it's a never ending battle with people that just find it difficult to accept it.
That's why I don't debate people like this. So many people say, "Well, let's debate on YouTube, like here, on YouTube." Why? Any argument I say, you're not going to accept, because there's just making stuff up at the end.
I know.
Yeah. So I really don't have interest to before we do that to collect hundreds of notes that I can then show, look here and look there. So it's everything is written down. So people won't accept it, or they're gonna accept it, or not gonna accept it.
I know.
So and then I'm challenging you.
I know. Oh, God.
And make fake flight tickets and fake pictures where, oh my God, man.
I turned up, but you weren't there.
Yeah.
What time did you turn up?
Yeah.
I'd been there since 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sure you did.
Yeah. And the one thing was with the guy, he posted, he said he was in Germany, and I said, well, show me a picture of you on the Frankfurt airport. And he said to me, I already sent you a picture. And I said, I never got any. Send a picture again. And then he sent a pic. You can't believe it. He sent as a proof that he is in Germany, he sent a picture of him in a farmer clothes in front of some bush and trees. So this could be literally everywhere on this planet.
I know.
It's just laughable, man. It's just beyond laughable.
I know.
Beyond laughable. So I said, okay, I don't want to hear anything you say. Just leave me alone. Like bullshit. and then a student of yours goes to this guy, to this. The nicest thing I can call him is lying individual, and gives him an interview like that. That really pissed me off, man. That really pissed me off. But
just how do you think I feel? But these people just get exposed and they're just made to look just what they are, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah. That's just. But I hope we have clear. I'm gonna let's see if the video is gonna get taken down.
Okay.
So, okay, Tommy.
Right, it's good to talk to you, Thomas.
Good to talk to you as well.
I'm going to go and get something to eat and feed my cats now.
Yeah, I'm hungry as well.
Oh, I'm starving.
And it's a good diet.
Running low on energy. Okay.
So I'm gonna. So guys, thanks for watching. Right.
Yep. Thank you
And
very much for your time.
see you next time, guys.
And I'll catch you later, Thomas. Bye then.